Podcast with your hosts Tom Whittle and Ger Dooley. Your ticket to the home of aviation podcasts.
It's Sunday night, and you know what that means. A very warm welcome to you all to episode 10 of the Departure Lounge podcast here on my channel. My name, as ever, is Tom Whittle, and joining me this evening, as always, is the one and only Ger Dooley. Ger, a very warm welcome to our first double-figure episode 10.
Do you know something? And thank you very, very much for the nice warm welcome, my good friend. And it's an absolute honour to be here for episode 10. The double figures have now finally arrived, and we can look forward to climbing the ladder more and more every week. And let's keep the ball rolling.
Absolutely. And also joining us for the debate this evening. He was on with us and will continue to be with us. He's back and better than ever, and he's got a knack for making things better. It's Ian Hartley. Ian, welcome.
Hey, hey Tommy, all right. That was a good introduction, that. Yeah, good evening to you both, and good evening to everyone who's in the chat at the moment. So, fantastic.
And a big good evening to you as well, Ian.
Cheers, yeah.
And welcome back to join me and Tom again, and to everybody joining in on the chat. A big warm welcome to you all as well.
Yes, thank you again for coming in and joining us. Now, normally Ian reads out the comments and sort of sits in the background, but he's actually joining us for the debate. So we're doing something a little bit different. No guests, but we're doing sort of a new series in the podcast, which I've been looking forward to doing for a while. We're going to have a debate about why the British Airways World Tails were so controversial. Now, as always, we want your input as well. So throughout the show, we will be going through every single World Tail, and we will be discussing them, and we want your opinions on them and whether you like them or not, and if you agree with our opinions as to whether we like them or not. But before we get into them, we'll do our usual housekeeping just to get that out the way. Top of the screen and in the description below, you have links to our social medias, and Ian will be posting them in the chat throughout the evening. You can follow us on Instagram, subscribe to Ger on YouTube, or follow me on Twitter. Following on from that, if you wish to be a guest on the show at any point in the near future, drop either of us a message on our socials, and we'll be happy to have you on. We are getting a lot of demand at the moment, so definitely sort of, if you want on, kind of get your messages in sort of as soon as. But if you want to be a guest on the show at any point, drop us a message and we will get you on. And also, our last little bit of housekeeping is a nod in the direction of the channel sponsors, airspotters.com. Go to their website, which is in the description as well, for all of your modelling needs. And keep an eye on my channel, because we're teaming up again to bring you a discount code for a particular model review, which is coming up within the next week or so. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. Other than that is all the housekeeping. So what we'll do, we'll go over to Ian first to say some hellos to people that have joined us.
Yep, Samuel Taylor Ackroyd, hello to you. He's in the chat tonight. Mike Barnard. And to be honest, that's all I've got in front of me. I don't know whether my iPad's not refreshing.
Yeah, no, that's all. That's all I've got as well.
That's fair enough then, right? So, hello to you too.
Tommy, good evening, Mark.
Yeah, so good evening, Sam, who was on our show last week, and a good evening to Mark Barnard, who says, "Hi Tom, hi Joe, woo, whoosh."
Woo, whoosh.
But let's get the podcast underway. We're probably going to be here for the next, I'd say, about 90 minutes or so. Like I said, if we get as we go into the discussion and the dissecting of the tales, we want your opinions, and we want to know which one is your favourite and which one you didn't like. So put those in the chat and we'll get those read out as soon as. But for now, we'll jump into the podcast and start thinking why the tails were so controversial. So, for those that might not have been around for the time, the BA World Tails was revealed in 1997. This was introduced as a shake-up to replace the much-loved Landor livery. The major change was a restyled Speedbird logo to what we all know now, which is the speed mark, as they call it. The tail fin designs, of course, were changed. They used arts and designs from international artists, along with other sources that represented each of the countries that BA served at the time. So, pretty much throughout their entire route network. However, the liveries did come with controversy, as they were met with a lot of negativity, and many said that the airline had lost its identity. We'll get on to sort of the higher profile people that didn't enjoy the tails or didn't like them very shortly. But one person in particular was a guy called Jonathan Glancy, who was an architectural critic and writer for the Guardian at the time, about 1997. He branded the liveries as messy ethnic designs that were turned into the equivalent of doll's house wallpaper, things applied but not belonging. Just quickly, just want to get your guys' sort of thoughts on that sort of quote. We'll go with you, Ian.
I think I'm inclined to agree with him in a lot of ways, to be quite honest. I don't think anybody can honestly say that they like every single one of them. I think we've all got our favourites, and I'm sure that the architect had his favourites as well, because some of them do look nice. But I agree with him. Yeah. I don't think half of them belonged on the tails of anything. Never mind on back of a BA flagship. It's. I agree.
I think I'm inclined to agree with you as well. Is the fact that we've been discussing throughout the week as we sort of prepared for this evening. We sort of discussed the fact that it's not. We've had a look at them and we've said, yeah, this represents the country. This represents the country, and then we'll see them later on in the show when we go through them all. But some don't, and it's almost a bit like a what were you thinking kind of moment. We've had a discussion and we've criticised ones that we don't like and we do like, and we've had a few sort of disagreements with each other's opinions. But yeah, no doubt that'll come out again sort of later on this evening. So get your gloves ready, boys. But yeah, what about you, Joe? What do you think?
I have to agree with you guys on what you're saying, because now, as I say, like I had the privilege to be at Gatwick back in 1997 when those tails were going in and out all the time on like not just like the Queen of the Skies, like the 747-400. That had them lovely colour tails on them, and that was like, and then you had your a couple of 737-200s that were still flying back then as well. They had them, and so did a lot of the 737-400s and 500s belonged to British Airways. They had them as well. Like, so yeah, I actually did like a good few of the colour schemes, because it made them look especially on a lovely sunny morning. Like you go down early, and you especially the first time when I saw them, I went down and they were coming out over the motorway, and then going out over the railway tracks beside the motorway, and the sun had actually reflect off them. That's what I used to love about them. And I know, like as well, there was a lot of controversy over it. But look, that's it's different now. Like those colour tails are gone, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm sad to see them gone, because it was always something different to look at every time you go plane spotting. That's what I loved. So I do agree with you on what you have to say there at the start.
Yeah, I think it's it depends on what side of the fence you sit. If you're a plane spotter, then it is different. You're not quite sure which one you're going to get. I mean, like take JetBlue, for example. JetBlue have got different patterns and different style liveries on their tails, and you never know which one you're going to get.
They do.
But
yeah, and Tom, and you know something, another thing as well. Look at Frontier representing animals of the wild on their.
Another good example.
I like that. I like that. I like when airlines actually do something different. Like, you know, because what Frontier is doing at the moment is awesome, because they're trying to get all these animals out there protected by showing them off on the tails of their A320 Neos, and I think it's mostly Airbus Frontier anywhere fly, isn't it, Tom?
I believe so. Yeah, and it's like now with spotting the British Airways planes with at a place where they're so prominent, which is like obviously Heathrow. That's where they're based. You know, especially for me, if I'm there and I see an A319 come in, I'm like, oh, it's just another A319, and I'm not interested, because I'm just like, you see so many. But if they were, I mean, the A319s and that came round after the World Tails were sort of phasing themselves out, and we'll get onto that in a second.
Right,
But it I don't know. But for a business side of things, I mean, people didn't like it, and we'll get onto that shortly. But so initially, when the liveries were rolled out, when the change was announced, the initial rollout consisted of 15 different liveries, but more were added over time. This venture into trying to reflect the UK as, unquote, friendly, diverse, and open to other countries, according to Robert Ayling, who was the chief executive of British Airways between 1996 and 2000, actually cost the airline a whopping £60 million. Of which £2 million of that was paid to the artists and designers who designed the tail fins. So quite a huge chunk of money to sort of risk a lot of backlash, given the drastic change from going from what would be considered a classy airline with a classy livery and sort of, I think the right word to use is regal. Because you can put your faith in British Airways at the time, and it's like a well-dressed person. You know they've got sort of style and things like that. Whereas if you imagine it as like somebody that was scruffy, that's kind of what they've gone with, is that sort of thing. So you can kind of see why sort of people didn't like it. But £16 million is a lot of money to spend.
It's a lot.
I think they made a lot of that back, haven't they, through selling the original artwork as well, haven't they? They sold the original artwork last year, didn't they?
I believe they did.
Clawed a lot of that money back,
Yes.
And
that was
helping with the COVID thing.
Yeah, that was to keep them afloat with the with the obviously the pandemic and that sort of taking the money out of them. But yeah. So this ultimately led to rival airline Virgin Atlantic deciding to adopt the British flag on their ladies, which adorned the nose, which were carrying Virgin flags at the time. So Virgin saw it as an opportunity, of putting their stamp on being a proper British airline during this sort of transition that British Airways were going through. They sort of that's why they've got the flag on the nose ever since. And it is a strange move, but for me, like, I liked them. I liked the fact that it was different, but obviously for a business side of things, it obviously wasn't a great move. But so going a little bit further into it, by 1999, so bearing in mind that the deliveries have been 2 years now, BA had repainted around half its fleet, so 170 aircraft, in the new colours. But then CEO Robert Ayling announced a review of this process. So obviously the backlash caused, it caused them to sort of have a rethink. And the aircraft that were already painted would keep the new designs, but the remainder of the fleet would be painted in a slightly different livery, which again we'll get onto later, because that would be jumping the gun. But finally in 2001, in May 2001, after Robert Ayling left British Airways, new chief executive Rod Eddington announced that the entire fleet would get a completely new livery, especially the one that we see today. So We'll talk about the origins of where the livery today came from once we get into the review of the tails. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything, unless you guys have got anything you want to add to it.
Sorry, no, Tom, my phone is ringing there, but anyway, I'll deal with it in a minute. The thing is, Tom, what I was just thinking, like you were saying there about Virgin Atlantic with the woman and the flag. I actually like that now. I think that actually makes Virgin Atlantic look actually really, really good. Because the lady's always been there anyway, hasn't she, Tom?
She's been there. Yeah, it's been there ever since.
Yeah.
Ever since 1999 when Virgin had their own relaunch. So, like I said, it's one airline sort of tried to, well, according to business terms, go away from being British, and Virgin Atlantic jumped on the train to go, right, well, if you're not going to do it, we will.
Yeah, exactly, Tom. No, you said it. So.
Yes. Any more information, Ian?
I think. Sorry, I was just going to say about the lady on the Virgin planes. When you actually look at the image and look at her carrying the flag and things like that, the sort of the image and I think what they were trying to portray was it took you back to the golden age of transatlantic flight. That's how I feel. Your days of your BOACs and things like that, and I just think with the actual image, it's quite like a sort of a 1950s. 1960s style image, and I think they try and take you back to the golden age, and they're trying to perceive the transatlantic flights are so what's the word I'm looking for, such a massive deal, rather than it just being a flight across the Atlantic. They're sort of making it into an event, aren't they, if you will? So just with that privilege. Sort of one image, they're trying to make the transatlantic flight a massive deal again, and I think that's what Virgin were trying to do.
A bit like
missed a trick. They really did, I think.
Yeah. So it's a bit like a privilege, and kind of
absolutely,
like you said, it's just diving back into sort of the golden age of flying, when you had the likes of BOAC and doing the transatlantic, and you see like loads of video footage and stuff, and at least when you see the Virgin lady, at least that's the first thing that sort of comes to your mind, sort of thing. That's it. Yeah. So it was a strange move, but but what we'll do now is we will start to dissect each and every single tale, and we're going to talk about it, talk about the origin, talk about what the inspiration was, and then we'll decide whether we were a big fan of it or whether we didn't. And this is where we need you to come in and decide whether you also liked it and whether you didn't. But before we do that, Ian, we've got a couple more comments in there, so do you want to read them out?
Yeah, we're going to say about Steve Plains, he makes a good point with the problem with the BA livery. It was so iconic, and it still is iconic. It's like painting a Royal Mail van blue. It just doesn't look right. It wouldn't sit right with people, would it? And I think that's a really, really good point that they've... They painted a Royal Mail van blue. That's what they did, didn't they, with the tails? That's a good point.
Yeah, think about the sort of the happiness and joy. Like I expressed it to you when British Airways were bringing the Landau livery back, and I think out of the BOAC, BEA, and the Negus livery, excuse me, the Landau one was met with a lot of like positivity, because for me and for a lot of people, they remember that, and it was like it was a sign of the good times. So I think that's probably what rubbed people up the wrong way, was you're taking the good times, and like Steve says, and by the way, good evening, Steve. He shared the podcast on his Instagram story, so thank you for that. What he's saying about the whole painting Postman Pat's van blue is absolutely spot on in regards to this sort of situation.
Yeah, definitely. Daniela Behan says hello.
Evening, Daniel.
And Samuel Taylor Ackroyd, sorry, Sam, I'm getting your name wrong then. He likes the current BA tail livery now. It's just because it's the BA one with no art style ones.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting that people like this current one.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'll express my opinion when we get to it, because I don't want to sort of jump the gun just yet. But But yeah, I can understand because it's very British, obviously. But yeah, I mean, if I'll throw it out there. It's not my cup of tea, but it is what it is. So yes. Any more comments in there?
Bradley Aviations just says hello. Leo 911 says champions of Europe. We've done it again. I'm presuming that's something to do with Chelsea, but
it is indeed.
It's not a football podcast, so
no. It's a shame it isn't, because I'd be spending most of this podcast talking about how we're champions of Europe. But yeah, we'll leave that for another time. But but no, thank you everyone for bringing your comments in. And good evening to everybody. So. Should we start to digest all the tales?
Yes, I think so, Tom. Yeah.
Fantastic. Definitely. Right, let's get into the first one then. And this one was the one that caused a little bit of controversy, and we'll get onto that shortly. So to begin with, we are starting with the tale that was called Animals and Trees, and it represented Botswana. Now, for me, this is it. It's a really, really nice sort of tail design. And this was done by the... I can't pronounce the name, I won't even attempt it. But the artist is one of the Nkoko people of the Kalahari Desert. And this is supposed to depict 7 jackals at an oasis. And this particular livery was worn by the 747-400, 757, 737 and 777, to name a few. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about it.
Well, something? I take this now. I actually love the three colours now that are there. I think the one on the bottom is the South African livery. That looks absolutely fantastic. That one does.
All are Botswana, Joe.
Sorry, Tom.
All of them are Botswana.
Botswana, yeah. They're gorgeous. So they're absolutely gorgeous livery. So they're really amazing.
This one is a nice one, but this one also caused a lot of controversy, which I'll mention shortly. But Ian, what's your take on What's your take on this one?
I'm not a fan of it.
Come on.
I'm not a fan of it, and I think. No, I just don't think it looks right. No, it's just when I could see a British Airways plane in front of me, it's got a blue belly on it, and it's got the British Airways logo on the side with the nice, I don't know what you'd call it, the little swoosh over the top of the British Airways and what have you, and then they stick this blue, green, and pink thing at the back of it. And to be fair, I don't know anything about the artist. Now, I'm sat at Heathrow Airport now, I'm watching planes coming in and out, and then this thing comes over the top of me, and I take a photograph of it, and that's it. And I don't know anything about. I think if people were more educated about them, I think they would appreciate them a little bit more. And I think that's something what nobody ever says about them, because nobody knows anything about them. They just look at it as a painting, and they look at it and they either like it or they don't like it, but they don't really know much about it. And to me, I'm not a massive fan of it. I just don't think the greens and the pinks look right on a British Airways plane at all.
Well, a little bit more info.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, so a little bit more info on it. The painting, as I said, is depicting 7 jackals resting under trees around an oasis, and it combines a naive freshness of a simple composition with beautiful, vibrant colours. Now, understandably, people aren't going to like it. I do. Jer does. You don't. So you're wrong. But
fair enough.
No.
I mean, comments guy.
But I mean, you yourself, you're not the only one that hated it, because, as I mentioned in the intro, this particular livery gained a lot of controversy. And can anybody guess as to maybe who that high profile person was?
Let me think. Round about that time. I'd probably say someone like Margaret Thatcher.
Spot on. And she's now on the screen. It was indeed Margaret Thatcher. Yeah, she did not approve of these liveries at all. And the reason that this particular tale is so controversial is because, as you can see in the picture, she put a handkerchief over the tail fin of the 747 in this livery. And she also said that we fly the British flag, not these awful things. And she also claimed that the fins, with these fins, that the airline would lose its identity. So, yeah, she didn't like them. She did not. She didn't like these at all. So, but obviously, everyone knows that Margaret Thatcher is Margaret Thatcher. So, yeah. What do we think about that one?
Yeah, that's amazing, Archie. That she wasn't a big fan of the schemes of that. Like as I said, Tom. I don't think Concorde ever carried that livery on it. Anyway, it was mostly all the other aircraft that done it. Like.
That is correct. Yeah, that is correct, and we'll jump onto that when we get to the livery there.
No problem.
Yeah. So we'll go around the room again. So is it a thumbs up or thumbs down, Joe?
Well, Tom, I'm going to go thumbs up on the Botswana. I think I have to because there's and you see the one thing about me, I had the privilege of witnessing all these liveries, 3 liveries going over Gatwick anyway. So obviously I am going to be a favour to them, I guess.
Okay, so a thumbs up from Joe. Obviously we want your opinions in the chat as well. So if you want to thumbs up it, thumbs down it, let us know. Chuck it in the chat. We'll let you know. Ian, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Just thumbs down for me. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all. I just don't think it looks right on British Airways airplane. So. Yeah, thumbs down from me.
That's fair enough. It gets a thumbs up from me because I do like it. And I do own a few models with this livery. So gets a thumbs up from me.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at chat as well, and Danielle Behan, she says hello, and she's put two wavy hands, so I'm presuming that's meant to be a thumbs down. Leo 911, he's put a trophy at the end of his comment, which I think he's hit the wrong button, and that was meant to be a thumbs down. So I'd say the chat's with me.
No, you've read those out already. Don't.
Oh, man, sorry.
No, I do think Sam agrees with you. He says he agrees with that, and that came in as you were talking about why you didn't like it. So, yeah. We'll go with sort of half and half, but I've got thumbs up, Joe's got thumbs up, you've got thumbs down. I think the majority of the people also going thumbs down as well. So that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah. Right, let's move on to the next one. And the next one's an interesting one because it's not actually to do with British Airways, but it's part of the franchise. And this one is called Avignon. And this represents Germany and also the German subsidiary Deutsche BA. So wanted to know what you guys thought of this. I think it's quite quirky and it's very... I want to say it's a bit like Picasso. That's what I think. Ian, we'll go with you first. What do you think about this one?
I actually like the design. The design's nice. Like you say, it is a bit quirky. It looks a bit abstract, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But on the back of a British Airways plane, it just looks totally wrong. That to me just depicts everything what British Airways isn't.
Bearing in mind it's to do with their German subsidiary, so it's not actually British Airways themselves.
Yeah, but well, I mean, if it was stuck on back of an EasyJet plane or a Ryanair or something like that, I'd understand it. But it's I don't know. It's still I don't know. I don't get me wrong. I'm sort of torn with this one because I actually like the design.
Yeah.
But I don't like what it was used for.
Well, the description of it is I mean, it's by the artist Jim Avignon, and it's contemporary German art, which you wouldn't know already. But I myself do like it because it is quirky, and it does remind me very much of like Picasso, and if I take a closer look, and that's just me because obviously I've been looking at it. There's a particular sort of section towards the top of the tail there that looks a bit like Ned Flanders. If that picture is even any good.
Yeah, I mean, even the bit at the bottom reminds me a bit of a Bart Simpson. To be quite honest.
Yeah,
it's a strange one. I just saw Ned Flanders.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
but that's just me. Let us know, of course, guys, in the chat what you make of these liveries, and let us know which is your favourite or not. Joe, what do you think about this one?
I do actually like the Tom because it's. I'd say it's because of the fact of all the different colours going from underneath the side tail there up along towards the main tail. Like it does. Yeah, I think I'll have to go with this one. I think I do like this one, Tom.
Good stuff. Yeah, like I said, I like it. It's. I mean, it does represent, like, I suppose, German contemporary art. And like I said, it's not.
It does look quite nice. The actual picture what you've used there, Tom, it's it does do it justice. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it's very different. I mean, it's one that we didn't see in the UK anyway. Just because, like I say, it was the German division of British Airways at the time. So we unless it did come into the UK, probably into Gatwick, but like I say, it was one that we never really saw as much. But yeah. So what are we saying then? So thumbs up or thumbs down, Ian?
I'm going to give it a thumbs up, that one, to be quite honest, because looking at it, I think that is a plane I would like to have seen, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Okay, so
definitely thumbs up from me.
So a thumbs up from Ian. Joe, what about you?
Oh yeah, definitely a thumbs up to that one for me, Tom. I like that, and then of course is that a 737 400 or 5? I think it's a
300. That one.
500.
Yeah, 300 that one.
Oh, it's a 300.
Yeah.
300. Yeah, because of the curve on the tail. Yeah, I see the curve there. Yeah, no, big thumbs up to that one from me, Tom. I like it.
Yeah. The comment that's just come in the chat there from Samuel Taylor Ackroyd saying, when you look, I think he's just agreeing with what you were saying about the Botswana one, Ian, where he says when you look at the rest of the aircraft, the blue belly, blue and red speedbird check, and the rest of it being white, and then you have some colours on the tail which make the plane look a bit odd.
That's pretty much what I was saying. Yeah.
If it's done right, then it's if it's done right, it looks good. There are a few in here that are absolute stinkers. And they're coming up shortly. So yeah. But like I said, keep chucking your input in there. We want you to join in on the debate this evening about the World Tails. So to round it up, thumbs up from me. So that's 3 full thumbs up on this one. So first one of, I'm sure, many. But first one of the evening. So we like this one.
And yeah.
Fantastic. Let's get on to another one then. And this is another one from the German division. And this one is called Bavaria, and in brackets, Edelweiss. And again, like I said, this is to do with the German division, Deutsche BA. Joe, what do you make of this one?
Now that's I'm just going to enlarge my screen here, Tom, and I'm going to have a good look at it. Oh yeah, that definitely is. I like it. I absolutely like this because of the flower. It's representing plant life this time. That's what I like about it.
Yes, and if you look closely where the flower is at the top of the tail, that flower is actually used on the Edelweiss livery.
Yes, on the A340 of Edelweiss and the 330 as well has it. So yeah, that's the reason I'm kind of going all out with this one, Tom.
Yes, so you like this one, Ian?
Yeah.
What are you making of this one again from the German?
Yeah, I do like it. Yeah, it's nice. It's got it's got a bit of class about it, hasn't it? It's got a bit of grace about it, hasn't it? I know the Edelweiss, that's the actual flower, isn't it?
Edelweiss, Edelweiss
that's the
is
name of the actual flower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's just got it's got the colours with it, and like the yellows and things like that are quite subtle. But it sits nice with it, and I think it's just got that. I think it's just got the gracefulness and a bit of class about it, which sits nice on tail of a BA aircraft. I do like that one a lot. I do, yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I think I think I'm going to have to agree with you and not start any fights yet.
No.
It is lovely. It's very, like I say, it does represent. I mean, the description for it is just literally German art, which is fair enough. That is literally what it is. Doesn't say who the artist is, but this was obviously worn by their 737-300s because that's what they had in their fleet at the time. And it is, for me, I think the darker colours match well with the belly and the sort of the black, the blue and the white of the sort of the fuselage and that. I think it's very, just fits in very nicely as opposed to say like your wacky colours and that. Like I said, if it's done correctly, then it's perfect. But this is sort of spot on for me. So I do like this one a lot. Again, not one that we may have seen in the UK, but this one was out there and it does count on the list of World Tails. So let's go around the room then, and we'll start with you, Jer. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up to this one, Tom. Yeah,
lovely
definitely. The thumbs up. I love the design, and it actually sets the whole airplane off nicely. So it does.
Fantastic, Ian.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, it looks really nice. Yeah, definitely a thumbs up from me.
Excellent.
Yeah, it looks graceful on the airplane.
It is very nice. I think that would look really nice on sort of any sort of, if that was like a UK like design, I think that would look really, really nice on like the bigger planes. So it gets a thumbs up from me as well. So
actually, Tom, do you know something? And maybe you might agree with me on this one, Tom. It looked very well on one of BA's A350 1000s.
I could sort of see it. Yeah, 100%. I could sort of see it on there. It is one of those, I think, that it would suit any plane it goes on. Like a few of these liveries that we'll go through this evening. They could look good on any plane, and if a livery looks good on any plane, then you know you've got a winner. That's my take on it. But yeah, it's a thumbs up all round again. So we're off to a good start at the moment. we'll soon disagree, I'm sure, but yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yes. Now moving on to another livery, and this is a sort of a UK representative. This was worn by a whopping 25 aircraft in the British Airways fleet. And it is the Scotland representative called Benihone, in brackets, Mountain of the Birds. As I said, 25 aircraft wore this livery. And there's not much you can say about this one apart from the fact that it captures Scotland perfectly. Ian, what do you think? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Like you say, you can't really say much about it, can you? It's a nice design. It captures Scotland perfectly, and it looks nice as well. You know, it doesn't look out of place, does it? It doesn't look as bad as one of the German abstract type designs. It's got a nice, I don't know, it flows nicely, doesn't it? It just sits nice on the plane. So
it's not. Yeah, scruffy.
I'm happy with that. Yes. Yeah, it's a nice. Yeah. No, it's not scruffy at all. No,
it's not scruffy.
No, it's a lovely thing. Yeah, yeah, it's a nice design.
Like I said, 25 aircraft wore this from the likes of what you can see on the screen there. So the 777, which I think looks absolutely amazing in that livery. 737 looks perfect. The old A320s with the CFM engines. For those that didn't remember the A320s that they had recently. Back in the day, had the old CFM engines. They wore it. The likes of the 747 also wore it. And even the 737-200 wore this livery as well, to name a few. So yeah. I think it's lovely. I think it's really, really nice, and as I said, it captures Scotland well. Joe, what about you?
I love it, Tom. I love this livery because it shows the style of the design of the kilt for
Exactly
Scotland.
that.
It's absolutely awesome.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Definitely gets top marks from me anyway. That's for sure.
Yes. So the artist of this one was Peter MacDonald, and the description for this is anglicised Gaelic for Mountain of the Birds, which is what Benihone is. And it says a Scottish tartan design using colours from William Wilson and Son of Bannockburn. So it's a nice, it's a lovely livery. It really, really is. So what we'll do, we've got quite a few people that are liking this as well in the chat. We did lose Ian for a second, but he's now back. I think.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
No, he's back. Yes, all good. Yes.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, we'll go around the room and again do the whole thumbs up, thumbs down sort of thing. So thumbs up from me at least, because I do like this one, Joe.
Oh yes, definitely a big thumbs up from me as well, Tom. I love it. Yeah,
fantastic,
awesome livery.
And you, Ian?
Yeah, it gets the thumbs up from me. I've only one criticism.
Go on.
Do you know your thumbnail you've put on the screen?
Yeah.
The one at the bottom's got a different tail.
That's not a criticism of the airline, no, is it? You're just criticising me.
No, I'm wondering why it's been painted differently. That's all.
I think
because there wasn't another design. Yeah, there wasn't another design like it. It's just been painted different, hasn't it?
There's a couple of them that have got the two lines. I know that much.
Right. Okay.
I may be wrong, and I won't do a quick Google search. But
no. It's just something I picked up on.
Yeah, I think the 747s or 757s may have had the same. I just think it's a different sort of take on the livery, but it's literally just the same, just with two lines as opposed to one. So yeah. What I'll do now, Ian, there's a few.
Thumbs up from me.
Yeah, cool. So it's thumbs up all round again, and I think people are going to start leaving soon if we don't end up fighting. So we best get on to that.
That's why I criticise you.
Yeah. Well, you do that anyway.
Yeah.
But there's a few comments in the chat there, Ian, so I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, well, Samuel Taylor Ackroyd, he just likes the normal livery. And that's his opinion. And that's his full opinion about the liveries and tails, so we can't say any more about that, to be fair, can we?
No.
No, definitely not. But it is definitely an awesome livery. Actually, believe it or not, guys, before we finish up on this one, I had the privilege of witnessing, I think, the 777. I think I might have got the 777 and the 320 going out with both those designs on the tails back in the 90s. I'm going to go through all my old 90s footage that I have. The time when it was at Gatwick, I bet you anything I have them. I reckon, guys.
Yeah.
Is everyone still there?
Yeah, I'm still
there.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had all gone off again then.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm here, Tom.
Yeah, all right. Well, Samuel again, he's got the safety card for the 747-400 that was in that Scotland livery, which is a fantastic piece of memorabilia to have, isn't it?
Oh wow, that's really cool. Really, really cool.
Yeah, it trumps my Q400 safety on board card, doesn't it?
Oh, tenfold,
any day a week. I'm just looking. Steve Plains, the Scottish livery is nice. Loganair massively embraced that. Yeah, and Loganair planes look really nice. Yeah,
they certainly did.
And then they look really nice, the Loganair plane. Definitely one of the best tail designs, that one, and that's Marco Barrett. So, it is a fantastic, it's a lovely thing.
So there's one there really as well from Jeremy Carlisle who says that this is one of the best designs, and I think I'd probably have to agree. I think, even though it's very simple to represent Scotland with tartan and that, I think they did it really well. So
Yeah, I totally agree.
definitely a thumbs up. So again, 3 thumbs up for that one. And I think now the opinions will start to divide again as we move on to another country that was and still is in the British Airways route network, and that is the country of Sweden. And Sweden's livery was called Bloomsterong, and that was flower field. So a little bit of information on this one. It's by an artist called Ulrika Heidman Valian, and the artist works for a glassware manufacturer in Småland. This design is taken from a large glass bowl with a hearts and flowers theme, and this was worn by the 757, 767, 737 and the older 747-200s. Now, I know one person that might not like this, so we're going to go with him first. Ian.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It reminds me of a Clarice Cliff pot, what you see on, what's the TV show I'm thinking of? Dickinson's Real Deal or something like that. It just reminds me of it reminds me of what it was, and that was a design taken from a piece of pottery, weren't it? Yeah. I'm not a fan.
So it reminds you of a 3 o'clock in the afternoon program on ITV. Lovely.
It reminds me of a Clarice Cliff vase or a Clarice Cliff fruit ball or something like that. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah. Again, I just don't think the right place for that design is on tail of a British Airways plane, in my opinion.
Okay.
It just doesn't sit right. It's got those bold colours in again, hasn't it? And I just don't think those bold colours represent what British Airways was back then.
I think, bearing in mind, of course, it's not representing the airline, it's representing the country. So we're more sort of looking at whether we think it looks a bit like what would represent Sweden. Colours are there, but it's whether you like it. Not really. It is a strange sort of one.
It doesn't represent Sweden either to me. I'm sure they could have. I mean, to represent Scotland, you've put a piece of tartan on tail or something which represents Scotland, and you take one look at it and you think Scotland. You look at that and you think Clarice Cliff. I don't know. You don't. It doesn't represent Scotland. Sorry, it doesn't represent Sweden for me. I'm afraid. No.
That's going to be in my head now as Clarice Cliff.
Yeah, it does look like a Clarice Cliff vase. Yeah.
We'll hand it over to Joe. Joe, what's your opinion on this one?
Oh, Tom, I tell you, no, it's a very, very, very big decision for me on this. No, the thing is, the 747-200, I did have the privilege of witnessing a couple of them at Heathrow, because I that was the time I got to see the Illusion 86 of Airflot. Actually, at Heathrow, it was back in the early 90s as well, because there was a few of these tales actually around even back earlier in as the 90s did start, and I remember seeing one or two aircraft like the 200s with a couple of these livery. I don't know, Tom. I'm a bit under this one, I think. To say the least, the Love Heart now is lovely on the board. That's the only thing that's kind of catching me now at the moment. But I don't know. I think I'm out the window. I think on this one. I think, unfortunately.
So Ian don't like it. Joe's on the fence. I think I'm gonna have to. I mean, like I said, the colours are there.
The colours are there, Tom. The colours are absolutely there. Don't get me wrong. It's a lovely colour, but I don't know. It's just the way the tulips are actually. One is going the opposite direction. The other's going towards the front of both the 74 and the 73, and of course then you have the one going up straight then on the top part of the tail. Yeah, so Yeah, I'm stuck on the fence actually on this one. I don't know whether to give the thumbs up or go the thumbs down. I don't know. But, what do you think yourselves, guys? What would be your opinion on it?
Do you know what? I like it. I
You like
do.
it?
The colours are there, and it's. I think
Yeah,
the thing is,
yeah,
you got to look at it from far away, and if you look at it from far
yeah,
away, and it's not like, oh god, what's that? Like to me, it's
yeah,
very simplistic. It does split a lot of people's opinions, but I like it, and
yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, for me,
I think
it is. It
I
is
think
nice. It
what's
is
doing
nice.
Tom, what's doing it for me is the love heart. It's the love heart on both the aircraft. You see, that's what's making me kind of actually go with it. So yeah, I think I have to say I'll go with a like on this. I think like because the 747-200 was a jolly favorite of mine. I did love hearing the sound of the different engines that they had on the back then, because they had some of them had the old Pratt and Whitney type engines, and then you had the Rolls Royce engine then with the small kind of pipe sticking out the back of them and that as well. So you kind of got the best of both worlds back in the 90s with all the different engine sounds and stuff like that as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm going to go. I've changed my mind. I'm going to go with a thumbs up for it, I think.
Okay, so we'll go around the room. Joe's got a thumbs up. Ian.
Well, I agree with you, Tom, in what you were saying about you need to look at it from a distance, and I would say 40,000 feet's plenty of distance to be quite honest.
That's tough.
Thumbs down.
One
Oh dear.
thumbs down.
Oh dear. We're going to fall out this evening. I know that much.
Yup.
But yeah, thumbs up for me. I think. But I think only just, because it does look nice on. Like I say, you got the 737 there on the right, and the 747-200 there on the left. And yeah, I've seen that 747 go over my house, and yeah, it is it is nice. So yeah, only just a likable one. So yeah, so that's fine. Okay, so 2 likes for that one, and 1 dislike. Moving on to the next one, and it's the first of the English entries. And this one in particular is called Blue Pool. Now, this one, the artist was Sally Tuffin, and this was taken once again from a dish and vase design by Tuffin for pool. Now, once again, the 747-200 wore this, the 757, even the 737-200 wore this, as well as what's that there? Oh yeah, so 757, 747-200, and the 737s through 200 all the way through to the 500s wore this. I actually quite like this one as well. It's very difficult to hate them, but I do quite like this at the moment. Again, it's very simple. Does it represent England? Like if it's represented off of like pottery and things like that, then fair enough. But if you were looking at this for the first time, and yeah, see, I don't know. I'd have to go if I like it, just because the colours are there. What about you, Ian?
I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's dead smart. It's I don't know. It's like you say, it's simplistic, but it's neat and it's tidy. It's not like the ones that do dislike seems to be a bit messy and a bit tatty and and a bit too bright and too colourful. But it just looks nice, and I think it's got me thinking about where BA actually came from with these designs and the kind of people who made the decisions to actually have these designs on their aircraft, because you look at a lot of the designs of these aircraft and you see where the inspirations come from, whether it's a piece of art or whether it's a piece of pottery or whatever. a lot of people who flew British Airways back then, they were pretty much, business leaders and people, politicians and things like that. They're people who know about this kind of thing, but your normal spotter sat at Heathrow or whatever, your normal man in the street looks at this design and thinks, where on earth have they got the inspiration for that design from? And nobody really knows where it's all come from, but when you actually look at the ball and the vase of what Sally Tuffin's actually created, the vase and the ball, the beautiful designs, and they are really, really nice. And to translate that onto the back of that plane, it does look really, really smart. I like it a lot, that one, yeah. I think it looks dead smart.
Joe, what about you?
Oh yes, definitely a big thumbs up on this one, Tom, because I witnessed the 757 at Gatwick with that livery on it. So yeah, so definitely top marks goes to that one for me. I love it.
Good stuff. And yeah, like I said, it is quite contemporary, I think, at the same time. And yeah, I'm a bit like with you, Ian. Like, if you don't know anything about it, like, would you immediately think, oh, that's going to be English? It's a strange one, but I do quite like it because it is very, it's not all over the place. It's very simple, and if you were to look up, like, we've looked it up already, but if people were to look up like Sally Tuffin and have a look at the vase and the bowls and stuff that she's got, and you see where it's come from, then maybe people's opinions sort of change. But I do like it.
Does it represent England? Rob Brown playing spot, and he's put a comment in. It's a nice design, but his first thought. Is it English? Does it represent England? And it makes a point that it doesn't, does it? Unless you know the designer, unless you know where the inspirations come from. Yeah. Unless
you like you said, if you know Sally Tuffin and you know what pool designs are and things like that, then you go, oh yeah, that's completely English. But I think overall, even if you didn't know that it was English, I think a lot of people would still like it. So I think
it looks nice.
Yeah, I think for me it gets a thumbs up. I think it gets a thumbs up for me. What about you?
It's thumbs up from me, definitely. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
And Joe, you're a thumbs up as well?
Oh, 100%, Tom. Yeah.
Oh, this is getting it's getting too much now. We're nearly an hour in and no fights yet.
Yeah, no, we're doing well.
No, they'll come. They're on their way. Trust me, they're on their way. They're on their way. Wow. So the next few are all they're all English or British designs. The next one was more of an obscure one, and wasn't really. I mean, it was worn by one single aircraft, and I don't ever recall seeing it. I don't ever remember this being one. But it's on your screen now, and it's called British Blend, representing the United Kingdom. Now, the artist was Simon Baldwin, and quite simply, it's a coffee cup design, result of a New Britain competition, and it was used on a single A320 of the registration Golf Bravo Uniform Sierra India. I don't know what to make of it. It is very plain. Pardon the pun, of course, but it doesn't do anything for me. It really doesn't, and I don't like it.
I'm just looking at it now. It's a competition winner's entry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody's won a competition. God only knows who picked the winner, but it was a competition winner's prize, I suppose, and that's it, really, isn't it? It's got no inspiration from an artist or a piece of artwork or anything like that, and it's I don't know. Is that meant to represent the UK, or is it just a generic prize winning entry?
It is
You know,
down
it
as a
doesn't represent.
it is down as a United Kingdom representative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything for me. Joe, what about you?
No, I think no, Tom. This don't get any vote from me now, because well, the first thing is I didn't have the privilege of witnessing that aircraft. I never seen it at Gatwick actually. Believe it or not, on any of the visits I done back in the 90s. But this is Gatwick Airport. I can tell by the configuration of the lineup of other aircraft. Coming out, and of course I do spot one with two jet engines at the back of it as well, coming out there. But anyway, but yeah, no, I think I this one really doesn't show much detail on its tail at all, Tom. Well, I can't say I guess too much bad about it, because I didn't have the privilege to see it up close. If I had seen it on any of my plane spotting trips back in the 90s, I probably would say I'd give it a big like, but due to the fact I didn't see it, so no, I'm out the window, I think, on this one, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I will correct you. It is definitely Heathrow. That's the lineup for 09 right.
Oh, is it? No,
Yeah.
it's just the configuration of the like, it's like as if you look through the main gate at Gatwick's other end of the runway when you're down at the other side. It just looked like with the
I
lineup of
Yeah, I think
yeah,
what you see below the tail there is that I think it's an MD-82 of Scandinavian.
Scandinavian. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what's the other one in front of it, Tom? Is that a seven? Is that a 7-3?
Without properly looking at, I will just have a look because I am intrigued now. Actually.
Yeah, so am I now.
Quick look.
To wonder, is that a 200? Is that a 737
It looks like a 767.
Ah,
I
right.
wouldn't be able to tell you which airline, but yeah.
No, that's no problem. That's no problem. But yeah, no, that's I think that gets a no go from me on this one, Tom. I'll let
Yeah,
you and Ian now
I think it.
decide yourselves.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to be with Ian, and Ian will probably give this a thumbs down. And if you're going to correct me, Ian, now's your chance.
Yeah, it definitely gets a thumbs down. I think the only person who liked that was the guy who drew it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a competition winner, and well done for winning that competition and that. But I think for me, I mean, I'm fairly certain I'll have seen it, but I'd have imagined that because it's not so eye catching that I would have thought the tail was blank, if anything. So thumbs down from me as well, and Joe.
Yeah, same here, Tom.
Yeah, so thumbs down again, and that's the first one this evening that we're all giving an all thumbs down. And yeah, a couple of people in the chat as well, Jeremy Carlisle and Rob Brown, Plane Spotting, also giving it a thumbs down. So this one was not well received by the looks of things.
The only thing is, Tom, I will say one thing though, my good friend. I love the A320 itself, but as regards to the tail, that's a different thing. But she has my favourite engines actually on her, because I did witness 320s at Heathrow back in the 90s, and the sound out of those engines. She has the engine with the pipe out the back of it. I remember the full power being put to them, and you hear that heavy whining sound out of them when they were taking off. I used to love that. I love the aircraft, but unfortunately the tail I don't.
Yeah, it like I said, the A320 that you see were phased out sort of. Oh gosh, I want to say like 2004, 2005, and they were favoured for the ones that we have now. Really, these ones are obviously quite old. They're sort of the older variant, so sort of the step up.
The older variant, that's right.
The step up from the 100 series. But the noise that they made was incredible. The ones now, not so much. I loved it. But as in like the sort of the newer ones with those engines, not so much. But yeah, these ones rattled like anything. So.
Oh, they did. I used to love the sound, and then of course on a visit to Manchester, I had a privilege, I think, to witnessed one or two of them as well at Manchester on the near runway where you done your show from the
Yeah.
time a long time back. Just awesome.
Yeah.
So
So thumbs
anyway,
down.
we'll continue.
So thumbs down from
Yeah,
us on this one, and
yeah,
obviously, like I said, thumbs down from the
yeah,
people in the chat. So
yeah.
wasn't well received. Next one was won by 3 aircraft, and these were a 737-200, 757, and as we were just discussing, the older A320-100 without the little winglets on the end of the wings. This one, of course, also at the same time was representing Team GB at the 2000 Olympics, and this is classed as a World Tail. There's not much you can say on it because it's just representing Team GB. It's not the best design in the world. I think they probably could have. What they probably should have done, if it was me, is that lion. Apart from the fact that it reminds me of free-range eggs, should have maybe endorsed the whole tail, as opposed to that sort of little section, and maybe put the sort of Olympic rings on the back end of the fuselage and maybe enlarged them. Maybe, at least that's what I would have done with it. I'm not a fan of this one. But Joe, what do you think?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Tom, I'm actually going to say I do actually like this one actually because it has the Olympic rings on it. Has the flag, which is nice. I'm going to give this and even before we do the thumbs up, I'm going to say I do. I like it, Tom. And it's the team GB 2000 Olympics as well. So yeah, no, I like it, Tom. I know yourself and Ian might have different opinions on this, but no, I'm going with this one.
Well, let's find out. Ian, what do you think?
Yeah, I would have just said exactly the same as what you said, Tom. I'll be quite honest with you. I think the actual logo for Team GB could have filled the tail, and the Olympic rings could have gone on the fuselage, definitely. And I think that would have done it. As it stands, it represents Team GB, like you say. You can't say anything else about it, can you?
Or, like I said,
I do like it.
Yeah, otherwise, like I said, it's like free-range eggs from Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available.
Yeah.
But it's like a box of free-range eggs. That's what I see when I look at it. So yes. Now, what were we saying? We'll start with you, Ian. Are we thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. Yeah. I like the design. It's nice. It could have been done a little bit different in my eyes, but yeah, it's a good design. So I'll give it a thumbs up.
Interesting. Joe, what about you?
Yeah, Tom, I'm going to give it a thumbs up, and I have to say the Olympic rings actually would have looked actually nice above the top of the windows, above the British Airways symbol there, like it would have been deadly. And then of course the symbol of the flag could have actually filled the whole tail. But sure, look, listen, they might do it again now for the upcoming Olympics. I hope they actually do some kind of a design on one of their aircraft for Team GB for the Tokyo Olympics coming up.
Yeah,
So,
my guess
thumbs up, Tom.
it'll be more than likely to be sort of just titles rather than fill out the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, but you got thumbs up from Ian, thumbs up from you. But I'm going to go against the wind and give it a thumbs down because I don't like it and it just makes me hungry for omelettes. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I don't like it. I don't like it because, like I said, the tail should be that line should fill the tail, but that's that's just my opinion. So a thumbs down from me. But Rob Brown is giving it a thumbs up. So people do like it, and I think it's another one that probably splits opinions. And as it does, it just represents Team GB. And what more could you ask for?
Yeah.
Now, Ian, if you could read the comment from Steve Plains, because it's going to be very very relatable to the next one.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Steve Plains. He says that he's sorry if he's jumping the gun, but if you're going to discuss it, if you want a blank design for an English tail design, what would your design be?
Well, my answer is that I probably would have incorporated this next one as the current livery, because it's my absolute favourite out of the lot. And I think there's nothing more English than an English rose. This looked good on literally any plane it had. It was on 767s, the 747s, 737s had it, 757s had it. The list goes on. And in total, 23 aircraft wore it, including the British Airways World Cargo 747-400 that was leased at the time from Atlas Air. They decided to chuck this livery on it as well. And for me, personally, this should be the current livery, because it will look good on any aircraft. So I wouldn't design a new one, Steve. I would literally just go, we're putting that back on, because that to me is perfection. Like, it's very hard to have a perfect livery, but this is like screaming like everything to do with England or Britain, or the Chelsea Rose. You can't get more British than that. It's just fantastic. Ian, what's your take on the Chelsea Rose?
I think it looks messy, to be honest.
Okay, now you're asking for a fight.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I like the design. I like the idea of the English rose, the Chelsea rose, on the tail of any English aircraft. And I can see where they were going with it. I just find it's not been done right. I just find it looks a bit. No, it looks messy. It looks rushed to me. They could have made it look neater, and they could have made it look more like a rose, I'll be honest with you. But I beg your pardon.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, you wanted my opinion. I'll give you my opinion. I agree with what they're trying to do with it. I just don't think it was done right. I just think they could have done it differently. That's all. And as it stands, it looks fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like, you got a picture of that 747 there. It looks really, really nice. But what's the tail? Is that a 330 or something at the side of it? What tail's that?
So you've got 767 on the far left. In the middle is also a 767. Just to sort of bring up a larger picture of the of the tail, and then the 747 on the right. But like I said, 23 aircraft wore it, including a leased plane. So British Airways, saw very highly of this livery.
Absolutely, but I see that in a lot of the designs what they've done. I mean, that the middle picture you've got there, it doesn't look like. I mean, did they only have one size? Did they only have one set of stencils to actually paint the plane, to paint the tail? On the 747, it looks absolutely perfect, but when you look at the 767 in the middle, it looks like it's been cut off at both sides. Could they not have just made it a bit smaller and made it fit? It doesn't look right. It looks messy.
That is controversial. I'll give you that. We knew at some point it would get controversial, and see, I don't know. It don't matter what it looks like. I think the fact that because the tail's big enough, I think that's what they've done for the design. And then, if you look on the one on the left, unless it's just my eyes, the one on the left looks like it's a fuller one than the one in the middle.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
But
I think that might just be a bad picture of a tail, because it looks really long and narrow, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is at an angle as well. But I love it. I absolutely love this, and this should be the current livery. And I'm friggin' annoyed it's not. Joe, what do you think?
Yes, Tom. I'm going to go with this because, as I say, I had the privilege of witnessing this one at Gatwick, believe it or not. So yeah, I'm in favour. But I'd say now it would look if they were going to do it again. I'd put it on either the 787 now maybe, or possibly the A350. Whichever I suppose they think might themselves might actually make it look good. But it looked really nice on the 747, because I think it was the 747 400 that I witnessed coming out over the road. I was very actually to the side of her when she came off the runway, and there was a very low departure out over the fence when it came to where I was. So yeah, so I definitely going with this one, Tom. English Rose.
Good stuff. Now, Ian, if you'd like to read the comments out.
Ian, are you there?
Is he there?
Try to see now, Tom. Ian, can you hear us?
Nope, he's gone. He's not here at the minute. But I'll get to the comments anyway. So a lot of people loving this. A lot of people loving this. So, for example, what we got? So, as soon as I put the picture up, Jeremy Carlisle was like, yes. And I need to paint this on the A350 1000, which would be absolutely. Oh, could you
awesome.
imagine? Could you imagine this livery on the A350?
Oh, Tom, do you know something that would absolutely be deadly? Ian, are you back?
Hello.
He's back.
Good man, you're back.
Me Wi-Fi's gone down. I'm sorry, guys.
No, fine. No, that's no problem.
I've had to come back on my phone, but I've got nothing in front of me now because my Wi-Fi's gone.
You're all right. You're all right. I'll jump into comments.
You're fine anyway.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. I'll jump into comments. It's fine. So what we got? So we got so Jeremy Carlisle was loving this, and just a quick opinion, Ian. He says that they need to paint this on the A350 1000. I think his internet's gone again. We'll just move on from that.
No. I'm still here, and I'm just thinking about that comment. To be quite honest, yeah, I think. No, I think it could have looked tidier. To be quite honest, don't get me wrong. It's a nice design, and I can see where they were going with it. I just think it looks untidy. I really don't think it's. I think they could have made it look neater, made it look nicer.
You are going to get so many haters.
It might have been when you look back to the 90s and you think about fashions and things like that and how things were back in the 90s with whatever you want to look at, and I think that was more of a style what they had back then, and I think if they were to reinterpret that today, I think it would be done differently anyway, because we're not living in the era where that kind of style's fashionable, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so, it could have been a lot to do with fashion back then as well. So,
yeah. Well,
but
yeah, well, Steve Plains is saying that's banging. So I think there's no better way of putting it. Personally, Jeremy Carlisle also says that he wishes that this was painted on Concorde, which would have been interesting, very, very interesting. But I think
it would have actually, Tom. I'm just actually looking at Jeremy's comment there about the Concorde. I think it would actually look nice on her, but sure. Look, as I say, Concorde. It'd be nice to see Concorde back in the air again, but I don't know. It's hard to know anyway. Yeah. Anyway, let you continue there, Tom. Yes. I'll be back in a minute, guys. I just have to do a little mercy mission, and I'll join you. I'll be joining you in a second, okay?
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
All right, thanks, guys.
But yeah, I think it's just more of a weight thing for the Concorde. But yeah, it would have looked fantastic on it. And then Jeremy is basically fangirling over it. Brilliance, sheer perfection, and a big thumbs up from him. So yeah, I support that big thumbs up. But Rob Brown is saying a bit like you, Ian. Right idea, a bit untidy, but even for a Scotsman, this says England to me, and it's cracking.
Yeah, he's not wrong. It does say England, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah.
You can't get more English than a red rose, can you?
Absolutely
so,
not. Absolutely
I totally agree. I just think it's a nice design. It looks nice. I just think it looks a bit untidy, to be quite honest. But yeah,
we've got quite a few tales to go through yet, so we could be here for a little bit longer. But we'll crack on anyway with the next English entry, which is called colour down the side, and this only adorned one aircraft, which was the Dash 8.
And you can see why.
Yeah, this was designed by the artist Terry Frost, and it's an abstract Cornish painting by Frost in 1968, used on a single Dash 8 of Brymon Airways, which is BA City Express. We'll keep this short, like the Dash 8 on the picture. It's not good. To me, it's not good.
I don't know. I don't know. I like the actual design. I've seen the actual piece of art by Terry Frost, and it is something I would have hung up on my wall at home. So I actually like the design, what he's done. It is very abstract, and it looks like a kid's picked up a model plane and dipped it into a pot of paint at nursery school, to be quite honest. But
to me it looks like someone's just sneezed on it.
Oh yeah, but I do actually like the design. I actually like it. I like it, to be quite honest with you. Yeah.
By the way, we were giving the Chelsea Rose a thumbs up because we didn't do that, so I think we're giving that a thumbs up.
All right, yeah, I will actually give it a thumbs up.
So you thumbs up in this one?
I'll thumbs up it, but I'll just take the tip of my thumb off just for until they tidy it up. Yeah.
Well, I'm thumbs downing it because, like I said, it's like someone's just sneezed on it and forgot to put their hands over their mouth. So, I don't like this one at all.
I'm back here, guys. What did I miss? Sorry about that.
The one on the screen, which is the colour down the side, which is an English representative.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I'm just having a look at it here, and it's a dash 8 as well. So this, wow.
So what are we saying? Thumbs up for you, Joe, or thumbs down?
Oh, I think Tom. Well, it's a Dash 8, so I think I'm going to go with a thumbs up for this one because I love the airplane itself in regard. So I can't just not say a thumbs down to it. No, I'm thumbs up on this one.
Okay. We've got a couple so Jeremy Carlisle says he's undecided. He likes abstract, but not that abstract. Oh, sorry, not this abstract, I should say. And Rob Brown Plane Spotting says, I kind of get the seaside Cornish connection with the horizontal colours, but goes downhill the further back you go. I can see that. Like if you look at the beginning of the tail, it is kind of like it's kind of like a typical painting you see in like seaside rental homes and things like that for holidays.
Also looks like a deck chair as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, the further back you go, it does look. Yeah, I've got to agree with him. I think the further back you go, it does go a bit downhill from there. So definitely a thumbs down from me.
Right.
Joe's giving it a thumbs up.
I like the actual way. Sorry, I like the way the actual. It's the like turquoisey colour and the yellow. It actually starts going into the fuselage rather than just stuck to a tail, doesn't it? As well.
Yeah.
It covers a bit more of the plane, and I think that's what I like about it.
So thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up from me. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. So that is fair enough. Right, on to the next one, and this is one that Joe will probably be a big fan of. This is the Irish representative. And this one is a very popular one. It's a popular one for me because I went to a pottery place and actually painted a mug that I can have a cup of tea with in the colours of Column, which if you want to see that, I'll put a picture up on my Twitter feed. But yeah, again, one of the better ones, I think. It doesn't scream Ireland, but do you know what? I really like it. And if you look on the picture there, you can see there's 3 different variations of it. And I really like it. I really, really like it. Before we go to the Irishman, Ian, what's your take on this one?
I like it. It's got the despite it having the really, really bold and brash colour scheme, it's got the Celtic connection, hasn't it? With the crossing overs and things like that. I don't really know any like technicalities for the Celtic design or anything like that, but you can see just by actually looking at the design, it's got a Celtic design, hasn't it? And I think that's half of the battle won, because you know exactly what the tale's about before you actually start looking into it. You can see the colours, and then you can actually see the design, and you can see where the design is meant for, aren't you? And I think, I think it looks nice. I really do.
I just like the fact that there's as you can see, like I said, 3 different variations of it, depending on what plane you've got it on. And I think the yellow makes it stand out just perfectly. And even the blue, like on that 737-200 you can see on the screen, the blue background as opposed to the yellow, again, just makes it stand out, and it's really, really nice.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Now over to the Irishman.
I'm going to say, I've also seen your cup, Tom, as well, and it doesn't look very Celtic. Sorry.
Oh dear, I should put this as 18 plus and call you names, but I'm not going to. Over to you, Joe, as the Irishman of the group. What do you make of your country's representative?
Yes, Tom. I'm definitely going 100% on this, and I tell you now, the person that actually done it really, really beautifully. And looking at the 747 now, it looks really, really, really stylish with the colour. Like, you can see the bit of green up from the top part of the tail down to the kind of the just trying to see here now. Yeah, down to the red there. Just see the way it kind of blends in there. And looking at the 777, yeah, that looks really good. And of course, the old favourite, the 737-200. Many times I showed at quite a few of these at Dublin and at London Gatwick. Of course, I had many a choices of 737-200s back then. But yeah, the three beautiful tail there. So definitely gets my vote of confidence anyway, that's for sure.
Fantastic. So a quick summary of what it's about. The artist was Timothy O'Neill, and it's an anglicised Irish for dove, a Celtic or Celtic design, depending on how you say it, designed to evoke the memory of Saint Columba.
Saint Columba.
Nice. Yes. So
wow.
So yeah, awesome. It's really, really nice. 24 aircraft in total wore this. So again, another big one in the British Airways fleet, ranging from 737-200, 777, 747s, even the Embraers while they were around as well. The Embraers wore this, the 145.
Had them also as well. Wow.
So this was a really well liked livery. Rob Brown Plane Spotting saying just there that the blue background on the 737 is a bit more subtle than the yellow. The yellow is a bit more in your face, and I think I have to agree with that. But I think no matter what colour you have, it looks nice. Really, really nice. So let's go around the room then, starting with the Irishman. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
2 big thumbs up from me on this one, Tom.
2 big thumbs ups. Ian?
Yeah, thumbs up from me, definitely. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, big thumbs up for me as well. It's really, really smart, I think. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a blue background or yellow one. It is nice, really, really nice. So yeah, fantastic livery. Now we suddenly change the pace and go out of the UK, and we head to our next country, which is Egypt. And again, 2 different variations of crossing borders. What to say on this one? So a quick rundown. So the artist was Shant Avedisian, and it's the reuse of Islamic and pharaonic. So I'll say that again. Reuse of Islamic and pharaonic images and colour based on the decorations of the tent makers of Cairo, and this was worn by 5 aircraft, which include the 737, the 737, 757, and the A320, which you can see on the bottom of the screen there. What do we make of this?
Who wants to go first? Me or you, Ian? Do you want to go first on this one?
I like the top one. I'm not sure about the one underneath it. I think you're getting that. I don't know what the design would be called, but these abstract, angled shapes and things like that in the design, and I just don't think they sit right at all. The top one's fine, the like flowery design or whatever it's meant to be. The bottom one, I just don't quite get it at all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of either, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think the top one looks all right, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of either of them. I can understand the culture behind it. I don't like the bottom one. The bottom one for me is probably one of the worst ones out there as a variation. But if you're going to pick one of the two, I would probably go with the top one over the bottom one. But both are not good for me. I don't like them. Simple as. And it's nothing against Egypt and nothing against the culture of Egypt. I think you could have done so much better with the options that you had that represent Egypt. Joe, what do you think?
Well, I suppose the fact that our famous Landor livery 747-200 is in the background, the pattern, I suppose it is. But yeah, no, I like the 757 now, Tom. Of course, the flowers on the tail. They could have maybe done them a bit more. And it could have added maybe another little symbol or something on the side of the aircraft. But the bottom one, not to my 100% liking, but definitely I like the. I am going to say I like the 757 the way it looks, and then of course it's a counterpart or its mother or whatever I'd say, the 747 Queen is there in the picture with her. So yeah, I'm going to give that a big like.
Interesting. Okay. Jeremy Carlisle says it reminds him of American Thanksgiving design and decorations. It's too brown and dull.
I personally think I look at it and I don't see Egypt. Egypt's one of the oldest cultures in the world. It's got all the Egyptian pharaohs, and they had so much. They've got so much history in Egypt, and they've got so many designs and things what depict Egyptian culture. I don't understand where they've come from with those flowery designs. They could have stuck a pharaoh on it. They could have stuck hieroglyphics on it or something like that, couldn't they? They could have done a lot more to represent Egypt. That doesn't say Egypt to me at all.
No. So let's go round then. Starting with you, Joe. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, Tom. I'm going with the thumbs up
Joe
on this
likes
one.
it. Okay, interesting. Ian?
Yeah.
I'm undecided because I don't like the bottom one. Forget that. But I actually like the flowery design. As far as it representing Egypt, it doesn't do for me. So I'm sort of on the fence with it, to be quite honest. Yeah, so
On the fence.
Yeah, I'm just trying to sway myself one way or the other. I don't know. I actually like the design, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
Oh, interesting. I'm going thumbs down.
Give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm going thumbs down on this one. I'm not a fan of either of them. Rob Brown Planespotting saying there's 100 other things that could have been used to represent Egypt.
Absolutely.
So
I totally agree.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely spot on with that one. So we'll move on from that one to another of the big ones of, and actually one of the 15 that was initially rolled out. And believe it or not, that Egypt one was one of the original designs as well. But representing the country of the Netherlands is the Delft Blue Daybreak livery, which I really like. So aircraft such as the 737-200, 757, the 747-400, the 777.
Oh God! Here's another one.
And
the Netherlands.
Excuse me. And the 767 wore this. Like I say, 16 aircraft in total wore the Netherlands livery. I like it. I mean, considering if you look on the picture on the right hand side, you've got the famous Dutch windmills. You can't get much more Dutch than that.
I totally agree. I like it a lot. I like it a lot, and I also like the fact that it represents it's traditional Dutch pottery, isn't it? Delft pottery. So
it is indeed, yes.
It's taken from an actual Dutch design, and it looks Dutch, and it represents Netherlands. So yeah, it gets a massive thumbs up from me, and it looks nice as well. It sits really well.
Same here, Tom. I don't have to say. I'm just looking at it here. I love the windmill designs on both 76 and also the 747. Yeah, so definitely a big thumbs up straight away from me. Because I'm nearly sure it was either the 767. I think I might have Porsche Gatwick actually with Dash. I'm nearly sure. I think I caught the Queen with it as well. The Queen of the Sky. So I think I had pot luck actually on the day down at Gatwick. I caught the two of them actually going out.
Yeah, so the
747. Sorry, Tom. The 747 was going to New York.
The artist for this one was Hugo Kargman, and as Ian said, it is Delft pottery design. Uses, in quote, the traditions of the past and modernises them for the future. And what we got here? We got Jeremy Carlisle saying that he loves anything Delft, so it's a big thumbs up from him. And Rob Brown again saying that it looks good on the 777, and it really does. And I should know this because I've got the model, so it is really, really nice. And like I said, you can't really get much more Dutch than the fact that you got the Dutch windmills on there. So yeah, we'll go round. Big thumbs up from me, Ian.
Ian,
never mind.
are you there?
Never mind. He gives it a big thumbs up because he was saying it earlier. And you, Jen?
Yeah, 100% on this, Tom. Big thumbs up. Yeah, I like it.
Good stuff.
Like it.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. It is a nice, really, really nice livery. Now, we have got a whopping 21 tails to go through still. So this is going to be probably our longest episode so far.
Awesome, Tom.
Yeah, so if you're still with us after an hour and approaching 40 minutes, thank you ever so much for staying with us. Hopefully you can stay with us until the end. This might go on for quite a while, so yeah, it really is appreciated, so thank you so much. Right, moving on to the next one of the 21 that's left. Mother Russia. This one is called Golden Kokloma, and a quick sort of background into it. Only 3 aircraft wore it, and the artist was Taisia Akimovna Belyantseva. Close enough, that's all you're going to get from me. And it's based on painted Kokloma decoration on tableware set by Belyantseva, got there, in 1978. Worn by the likes of the 767, 757 and the 737-300. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Ian, your opinion?
No, I don't like it either. No, it's not for me at all.
No.
I can see the Russian representation through it, but I just don't like the design at all. No,
yeah,
no,
don't think that colour matches the sort of the rest of the plane sort of thing.
No, not at all.
Joe, what's your opinion on this livery?
No, I'm not a big fan of the either, Tom. doesn't. To be honest with you now, it doesn't really represent anything at all. In my books, and sadly, I never got to witness the actual aircraft that wore it. So yeah, no, I'm straight away. I'm out on this one.
Well, you didn't have the privilege of seeing it.
Never had the privilege of seeing this one, unfortunately. No.
Yeah,
That's
I
the-
don't know.
that-
I don't like. I'm not.
No, I don't think. No, don't get me wrong, Tom. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the 767 300 of British Airways when they had them, and the 737 300s. I love them as well. I did so, but the delivery doesn't suit it now, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it doesn't feel like it should belong. And Rob Brown Plane Spotting says it's a kind of play on the Thai logo. I mean, I can't see that, but I kind of get the idea at the same time. It's a bit like that.
I can see where he's coming from with that. I think it's got more of a Far Eastern Malaysian sort of feel to the actual logo rather than Russian. Now,
It does. It does, Ian. Yeah,
you know
actually,
what I mean?
yeah. I see. I actually see that as well. I kind of see a more far Asian side of it now
Absolutely.
than. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't seem to
definitely.
represent Russia, does it?
No.
Without being political, it's probably got a lot to do with how we perceive Russia, sort of thing. And
Yeah.
you know, it looks more like you said, Joe, more Asian than Russian.
Yeah.
So
It is actually,
yeah.
Tom.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
So,
like it.
so I'd say if it was anything, it should have been done as a more Asian type livery than because there's a lot more to Russia than that kind of symbol now, to be honest.
Yeah. I think we'll go around the room anyway, and we'll move on to sort of the next one. It's a thumbs down from me. I'm not a fan of this one at all. Ian,
No, thumbs down from me as well. Yeah.
and lastly, Joe.
And a thumbs down from me as well, Tom, because the fact that there could have been a lot more representation to delivery than
Yeah.
what is at the moment.
Yeah. Jeremy Carlisle
Yeah.
also gives it a thumb down as well. So, clearly not a loved livery representing Russia. They're only the biggest country in the world, so, or second maybe to China. Don't matter. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Excuse me.
And we've got another German representative on this one. This one also sort of splits the mind, but we'll get it onto the screen now. This one is also again from Deutsche BA, and it's called Gothic, and it's a calligraphy style tail fin, and the description of it is literally just German art. Now, I actually like this one because this does scream German, like to me. This does scream Germany.
Yeah.
I don't know what you
Good,
guys
actually,
think.
Tom.
We'll start with you, Joe.
Yeah, I actually like this one, Tom. Yeah, I'm going with you on this. I like the way the writing is actually going in different colours down from the top part of the tail down right underneath the main side tail outwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
like it. I mean, I don't know what the words mean, but it's nice.
And it's real gothic. It's real gothic looking as well.
Very Gothic. Yeah, and that's the idea
Yeah,
they were going
yeah.
with. And you do sort of see
Yeah,
this style of
yeah.
writing in Germany as well. So, Ian, what's your thought?
Yeah, I like it as well. I think it looks really nice. I think it says, going back to my German thing from school, cheap fares every day, I think it says. I might be wrong.
I wouldn't know.
No. I'm just kidding. I've no idea. I've no idea what it says. I've no idea. No. Yeah, I do like it. Whether it screams Germany or not, I really don't know. When I think of Gothic, I think more, I don't know, sort of Transylvania, sort of further east than Germany, to be quite honest. But I can see where they were coming from with it, and I think it works, and it does actually look nice. It looks nice, yeah, I like it.
Okay, so we'll go around the room. Joe, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Hi guys, I'm back there.
Thumbs up or thumbs down for this one?
I'm going with a thumbs up for this one, Tom.
Thumbs up. Ian?
Yeah.
Yep, I'll give it a thumbs up as well, definitely, Tom.
And for me, a thumbs up as well. So I think the German ones have done quite well, actually, this evening. I'm getting thumbs up from all of us. Now,
you're writing all this down?
No.
All right.
I'm just going off of memory, I think. But no, they've done well. I don't think we've not liked a single one of them yet. So it's they're going well for the Germans this evening. From us anyway. Question is, Ian, have you got your comments back yet?
I have got my comments back. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So,
if you'd like to read those up.
we've got Jeremy Carlisle is given the, I'm assuming it's the Russian one, a thumbs down. He says it's kind of play on the Thai logo, which I think we all agree with in the end, didn't we? I think it's got that Asian sort of feel to it, haven't we? Hasn't it? Yeah, German Bavarian beer bottle, perhaps. Munich Beer Festival. Looks German to me. So, yeah, I'll go with that, yeah.
In a nutshell, I think is the best way to put that one.
It could be, couldn't it? It could have been a beer label stuck on side of it, that, to be quite honest.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, we'll move on to the second to last English representative for this one. This one, again, is more of a 50-50, like, you either love it or you hate it. We'll get it on the screen now. And it's called Grand Union. Now, this one is designed by a woman called Christine Bass. And this was a result of a Sunday Times, which is a newspaper in this country, competition. Based on traditional English canal boat art from walks that Christine Bass has taken with her family along the Grand Union Canal in Buckinghamshire. And this was adorned by the 757 and 737, but in total 6 aircraft wore it. But we'll start with you, Ian, because it's got that Grand Union, which is more of like a fishing type thing as you and I would know it. What's your take on this one?
I can see exactly where she's coming from. You look at traditional canal barges and what have you in the UK, and you can see that design all over them.
Definitely.
I can see exactly where she's coming from. Whether I like it on back of a BA plane, I don't really know. I like it when I'm fishing on canal, for instance, and a barge comes trundling past me at 4 miles an hour, and it's all painted up nice, and it's got little bits of smoke coming out of it, and there's buckets on the side and milk churns and God knows what painted with these types of colours. It looks absolutely lovely, and it's very English and very peaceful and very tranquil and what have you. But if I see it on a jet what's going to be doing 500 mile an hour up in the sky, then I don't really know. I don't think a peaceful, tranquil design is really the kind of design you want to see on back of a commercial jet. To be quite honest, I can see where she's coming from, and I quite like it. I'll be quite honest with you.
Interesting analogy, that one. Joe, what about you? Do you like this one?
I do like this one, Tom. Yeah, I love the particular designs from the what do you call it, the APU up along. Yeah, that it's Grand Union. It looks deadly, so it does. I love it.
Yeah,
big thumbs up. Big thumbs up to me already, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where Ian's coming from and where the whole sort of canal boat sort of design comes from this one. I do like it. I know some people maybe don't like it because they may not get the idea of the representation of the Grand Union Canal. But yeah, I like it. So from Joe gives it a thumbs up. It gets a thumbs up from me. Ian?
Yeah, and same from me as well. Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting livery, I think, of the lot. But yeah, it is still nice. So yeah, thumbs up.
It's
thumbs
very
up from us all.
English.
Yeah. Like you said, it's that canal boat sort of feeling. It is nice. Yes. Right, moving on from that one to another one of my absolute favourites, and I'd say probably a lot of people's favourites, but I'm sure people will correct me if I'm wrong. It is the Polish representation called Kogutki Lowicki, and I really, really like this one. So, a quick rundown. The artist was Danula Wodja, and it is the meaning of cockerel of Lowicks, based on paper cutout of cockerels, peacocks, and flowers. And there was a unique variant of this livery applied to a 737-300, which, of course, if you Google, you'll be able to have a look at. But 10 aircraft in total wore this, including, as you can see on the picture, the 737 and the 747. And also the 757 wore it too. What are we making of this one? Because I really like this one. Joe, you first. Is he there?
I've no idea.
I don't know for the nation.
Sure.
Yes, Tom. Ian, I'm here. Just blocking me front door there was.
What are you making of this one?
Oh, Tom, I love it because this one I definitely witnessed it on my final ever visit to Gatwick Airport. That was the time when I was getting near ready to come home. I was leaving Gatwick after being over there for a whole month. Chasing the planes actually, and I had the privilege of actually seeing that beautiful livery. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I love the boat designs actually, because the 737 actually was there the same day as well as the 747 itself.
Definitely. Ian, your take on this one?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I don't know. It just looks really, really nice. But when I think if you understood more about, which we don't really do because we're English, but if we understood more about the Polish traditions and the Polish artwork and things like that, and you saw the entire piece of artwork, what it's depicting, I think you get it a little bit more, because you can see the top of a cockerel's head just at the bottom to the left-hand side of the tail, just going under the stabilizer. But it's an absolutely fantastic design. I think if I had to criticise it, I think I would have made it. I don't know whether I'd made it a little bit so you would have fit more of the actual design into it, because there's not, looking at the piece of looking at the actual tail and looking at the actual piece of artwork, what it was taken from, they could have put a lot more onto the tail. I don't know whether they've just put enough on or not or what, but it looks really nice. Yeah, I really like that.
So around the room then, for me, 2 thumbs up and a big love heart, because I absolutely love this one. So yeah, definitely 2 big thumbs ups for me. Joe?
Thumbs up and a love heart for me for this one as well, Tom. Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah.
And you, Ian?
Yeah, same with me as well. Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic design. It's really nice. Yeah.
Fantastic. What do the chat think?
Jeremy Carlisle loves the Polish one, which you've got to do, haven't you? It looks the business, that one. It really does. It
It's
looks
lovely.
Really nice.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice indeed.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right. On to, now we've seen the German subsidiaries. Now we're looking at the French subsidiary with a couple of French representations. The first one is called L'Esprit Liberté, or Liber, whichever it is.
Liberty.
So for those that might not know, Air Liberté, or Liberty, we'll call it Bertie.
Hey, Tom. Actually, come to think of it, I think I told you this a couple of times. I spoke to you. I said when I was at Gatwick, I remember witnessing this actual. Well, I witnessed the MD 88 or MD 82. Well, that looks like a 83 because it's very long. But I witnessed one a couple of these, and I used to call them Air Liberta. I remember, and the DC-10 now. Sadly, I never seen the DC-10 belong to them. But yeah, Air Liberty is actually the kind of the real name. But I used to say, there goes that Air Liberta MD 82 or 81 or whatever on its way now, and the main landing wheels and all are gone up on it. I used to say. And I had a friend of mine actually, only I was talking to him a few days ago, and I mentioned to him, and we were in the tears laughing at the way I used to pronunciate that one when it's departing. But anyway, I'll let you get back to the story for that.
Yeah, we'll call them Air Lib because eventually that's what they turned out to be called. So Air Lib is a French, or were a French sort of subsidiary of British Airways, and they had their own two tails. 12 aircraft. Wore this one, including the DC-10, as you can see in the background there of the picture, and the MD-80s. It's a bit like the German one, really, with the calligraphy. But this one is celebrating the human rights movement. So it's got a good meaning behind it. Ian, what's your take on this one?
I like it. It's I have no idea what it says, which I wish I did know what it said, because now you say that it's representing human rights and things like that. I'm sure it's got some kind of meaning, and I wish I did know what it said, to be quite honest. But yeah, I really like it. Yeah, I think it looks smart. Like you say, it's very much like the German one, but when you look at it in the red, white, and blue, it sits well on the Air Lib planes as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very subtle as well because it's not like in your face.
Yeah, it is. No, I like it.
Yeah, it is nice. Joe, what's your take on this one?
I like this one as well, Tom, and it's probably the fact that I witnessed many of their MD80s on my trips to Gatwick as well, so yeah. But sadly, the DC-10 in the background, and never came face to face with that aircraft, which I would have loved to have the privilege to, right? Because the DC-10 actually looks really, really top standard. Because the rate looks more bigger on the engine and on the bigger tail then as well, of course, compared to the MD. But yeah, no, I'll definitely going with this one anyway, that's for sure.
Fantastic. So around the room, Joe, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Big thumbs up for that, Tom.
Ian?
Yep, I'll give it a thumbs up as well, definitely.
Fantastic. And a big thumbs up for me as well, because it looks really nice, and it's just very... I'll tell you what, I have seen those MD-80s take off from Heathrow and stuff, and I used to get confused because I never thought British Airways owned them, and then obviously found out that it was this. And I remember seeing them on the early morning sort of 8:30 run down to Orly in Paris. So yeah, I've got fond memories of those. Awesome. But thumbs up all round. Now the second livery for them is La Pyramide du Louvre. Probably got that wrong. I didn't pay attention in French class, so sue me. So this one again, only the one plane, apparently, or what it says 3, but it's just got the one reg. The aircraft was painted with an image of the central courtyard of the Louvre Museum. Pretty standard, really. I quite like it. It's not bold, it's not in your face, but it's very subtle, and I quite like it. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I said to myself here, I do. I love it. Yeah, I can see the design actually near the tail fin there that moves crossways there. Yeah, I love it, Tom. And as I say, as you said, it's not in your face, and it's really subtle looking. Like, yeah, I definitely like that.
Lovely. Ian, your thoughts?
I like it. It's I don't know. It's I don't know. I just don't like it.
Controversial.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I understand that it's meant to look like the courtyard of the Louvre, but from where we can see it from, where we're stood from a spotter's view, what are we there? 70 or 80 yards, 100 yards away from it, or whatever. It doesn't look like anything. It just looks like red and blue smudge. It doesn't have anything going for it for me at all. It's got no appeal.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Well, we'll go around the room then. It gets a thumbs up for me because I do like it. Joe?
Thumbs up for me as well, Tom.
And Ian, I'll take your thumbs down here.
Yeah, thumbs down for that one. I'm not a fan of that at all. No.
Thumbs down.
No.
Do you want to quickly run through what the chat's saying about these French ones?
Yeah. Rob playing it. I'll start again. Rob Brown plane spotting. Very nice and subtle, not like the French to be reserved. I think he's referring to the earlier one, the human rights one, and La Pyramide de Louvre. I usually don't go for brown backgrounds, but he likes the subtleness of it.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Carlisle.
So, interesting. Jeremy Carlisle. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, that's right. It does split the opinions, but yeah. We're going to get on to a very interesting one next, and one that I found out some new information of literally just yesterday. So let's bring it up onto the screen. I think everybody is very, very, very familiar with this tail scheme, this tail design. It is, of course, Australia's Nalangi Dreaming. And some very interesting information about this one is that this design was originally designed by the Ballaringi Design Studio in 1995 for Qantas. And of course, as we know, this was painted on one of their Boeing 747s, where they took the entire plane and they painted it in this livery. I thought this livery came first, but it turns out it didn't. And this is used as an inspiration from British Airways as part of their partnership with Qantas, so it's a nod in Qantas's direction, which I think is a really nice little touch. But yeah, what can you say about such an iconic livery, apart from the fact that I'll immediately give it a huge thumbs up because it's just, I think it's really nice. Ian, what are you making of this Qantas inspired livery?
I totally agree. It represents Australia, doesn't it? You know, they've took it off the Qantas. You say it was a 747, didn't you? So they took it off the Qantas plane. They put it onto the tail of the British Airways plane as a nod to Qantas, and it represents the barrier reef, I would imagine, with the little fish and things swimming around in it.
Yes.
And I think I really, really like it. I think it does, and like you say, that's one of the more iconic tails, and that's the one. You know, a lot of people remember that one, don't they? And they do like it. Yeah.
It's basically supposed to be an environmental preservation sort of theme to it. So so it's got like a, like a coral reef kind of feel to it. So and the fact that they've stuck it on a 747 as well, kind of does
looks
really
awesome, Tom.
Yeah,
I love this one because as you were saying about the Qantas 747, and of course, I'm sure you guys remember the Manula Dreaming 747 as well, the way that was all designed with different designs on it as well. Yeah, I have to say, both the 747 and the 757 look actually pretty awesome in that livery. And tell me this, Tom, how many aircraft this particular scheme?
Well, considering it's a popular livery, would you like to have a guess?
I'm going to go with possibly 8 or 10 of them.
Okay, Ian, how many do you think wore it?
I don't know. You'd think quite a few, wouldn't you? To be quite honest, you like you say, you'd say into double figures, wouldn't you? Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think so.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It looks the business. That it really is nice.
So you see the two
does
planes
look
that are on
lovely.
the screen?
Yeah,
Just those two.
just those two. Oh my god!
Just the two
So
planes.
We went
Yeah. So
right. So we went miles ahead. There.
yeah. So 1747-400, which was Bravo November Lima November, and one of the older style 757s with the older engines, which was Bravo Mike Romeo Hotel. Just those two wore it. Yeah, so they didn't go too crazy with it. So yeah, just those two wore it.
Interesting.
Yes. So let's go round.
It's funny.
Go on.
I'm going to say at a passing glance, it just reminds me of the First Choice tail. Remember First Choice?
I do. Yeah.
Back in there.
Oh yeah.
It's just the colour of it. I just had a quick glance at it, then it just reminded me of First Choice.
It does actually.
So,
yeah, that colour is. I mean, it's a striking colour nonetheless, but
yeah,
very nice indeed. So let's go around the room. Ian, you first.
Yeah, definitely a big, massive thumbs up from me. I love that one.
Fantastic, Joe.
Oh, definitely a massive thumbs up to both of them, Tom. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic, and a big thumbs up for me as well. And looks like, lots of people in the chat liking it as well. Jeremy Carlisle and Rob Brown all thinking that it's very, very awesome, and it should be because it is very iconic.
Yeah.
So we'll get on to the other one. A little bit, in a little bit rather, I should say. But first, we are going on to South Africa, and the first of two variants or variations of this livery. The first one is Undebele Emily, which is the first variant, which again is also on the cup that I have. I really like this. For me, this is like quirk. This is like proper quirky, and it is very South African. The designer was Emily Masanabo, and it was based on a panel decorated with beads and mural style painting. A similar panel was produced by the artist's twin sister, which is coming up after this one, and we'll get to that in a minute. Only 3 planes wore this livery, which I'm very, very shocked about. I thought a lot more wore this, but 1757, 1747 and 1737 wore this. I thought a lot more planes wore it, but apparently not. But I like it. It's one of my favourites. And like I said, it was an inspiration to one of my mugs that I've got. So yeah, that shows how much I love it. Joe, what's your thought?
Yeah, I love the South African livery because it reminds me of the actual time I witnessed the South African aircraft at Heathrow on many of my visits when I used to go to London Heathrow, and I remember the 747 actually having and I think the A340 I think actually had it as well, as far as I know. Although no, it was just the 747 actually had a delivery. I don't think the A340 ever had any special design on the tail, but I know the 747 did.
A340?
I think it was. Yeah, did they have 340s back in
No, British Airways have never owned the A340.
Oh no, they didn't. No, that's right. Just what they fucking said. Pardon me, language. God. Oh, there's some, no. But South African airlines, I know, did have the 340 back then. I think it was a 200. I'm not sure, but the 747, I know, definitely had a design actually on it with the South African flag as well. Like that's what. Yeah, I'm trying to memorize back when I was at Heathrow, Tom, because I know I witnessed quite a lot of different designs back then. You see, so that's why I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. You know what I mean?
Ian, your thoughts on this?
I'm going to sit on fence. I'll be quite honest with you. I understand what it's representing, the South African angle to it and everything, but I don't know. As a design on back of a jet again, I'm not its biggest fan. I'm really not.
No,
I don't know. Yeah, no, I just don't like the. I don't know. I don't know what I like about it. It's just no. I don't like it. It's not.
Oh,
for
it's
me
an
at all.
opinion, and I don't have to like it, but I
Yeah.
can learn to live with it, so it's fine.
I don't like it. I don't like the angularness of it, if that's a word. But you know, all the angles and the
Yeah.
bold colours and things
I
like
can
that.
see why.
It's,
Yeah, I can see why. That's fine. So we'll go around the room before we get on to the second variation of this one. Jer, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up for this one, Tom.
Yeah, thumbs up for me as well. And Ian.
Sorry, thumbs down from me. Yeah, thumbs down. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Don't be.
I'm not.
Release the dogs. Anyway, so that's
You
that.
can't like everything, can you?
No, you can't. No, of course not. Now the second variation of this will look slightly different, but at the same time very similar, but slightly different. You'll see what I mean now. So this is Emily's twin sister Martha's design of the South African version. Time to make your mind up. Which one do you prefer? Because it is basically almost the same sort of thing. So again, represents South Africa, and yeah, I mean a little bit of info on it. I mean it's basically what I mentioned earlier. It's the same sort of thing, really. But 13 aircraft wore this, including the 747, 757, and 737s as well. So yeah. It was the more preferred one of the two. But what we saying? Which one do we prefer? Do we prefer Martha's one or do we prefer Emily's one? And we'll go with you, Ian.
I prefer Martha's one. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not a fan of it. I just don't like all the angular design on it and things like that. I just don't think it. Whether it represents South Africa or not, it's not to me. It doesn't really represent South Africa to me at all. I don't know. I just don't like all the angular, bold colours on it. It's no. I don't like it.
Interesting.
I don't like either of them. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
The vibes you're giving the chat is basically that you don't like South Africa.
No, I've nothing against South Africa at all. Nothing against South Africa. I just don't like those two particular tails. I just don't think they sit right on a jumbo jet or any kind of plane.
Yeah.
I'll be quite honest with you. I just don't like the look of them at all.
I think you've just got to be into sort of like a little bit of like quirky sort of thing. I mean, I like it. Out of the two, I do prefer Emily's one though. I think I think it just looks better. I just think it looks better. I think it's designed better. I think there's far too many triangular type things on this one as opposed to Emily's one. So I like this one, I like Emily's one better. Joe, which one is your preference? Do you like Martha's one or do you like Emily's one?
Both, man, but I am going to be upfront about this one now here. I definitely have to say I like this one for the reason I actually have this particular scheme actually on one of my videos from back in the 90s anyway. Because as I said, I witnessed quite a lot of these beautiful tails at Gatwick on my month's stay when I was stayed over with friends near Gatwick Airport. So I was always down nearly every couple of days to see the planes taking off, and the 747 there now literally reminds me of the angle that I caught this one at Gatwick going because as I said to you through the show, I witnessed them coming towards me after Lundy and coming out over the fence, then over the motorway, then over the railway tracks, and heading off into the east. Like, and the sun reflecting off them actually really set them off really lovely and colourful and that as well. Like, so yeah, I like the both teams, Tom. I'm not just going to go again one and go again the other. No, I definitely give the two of them a thumbs up on this round.
Yes. So we'll go round. Ian, thumbs up, thumbs down for this one.
Well, I've read a comment, and it was from Rob Brown, Plane Spotting. It's the closest thing to sticking the South African flag on the tail of a British Airways plane. Now, when you actually look at the design of Martha's plane tail, and you look at the South African flag, you can see now the inspiration behind it, or whether it was inspiration, but you can see similarities. And it's made me look at it in a different light.
Oh, okay.
I can see now. I can actually see the South African flag in it, which is, it's made me look at it a bit different, to be quite honest with you.
Interesting.
It's sort of swayed me, to be quite honest now. And
well, Ian, I'll say one thing. My good friend, I said this at the time. Like, I've been collecting flags of the world for quite some time now, and I do actually have the South African flag in my flag collection. So
yeah,
I can easily go to my drawer, and I can take that flag out, and I can lay it down on my bed and have a good look at it, and I'll be able to symbolise the flag with the tail.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the angles and the colours and what have you in the tail of the South African flag, and it's made me see it. Yeah. Like I said, a different light. And I would definitely give. I'm still not a fan of the first one, but I would say Martha's tail. I would I would give Martha's tail a thumbs up. Emily's tail, I'm not a fan of.
Ooh.
But Martha's tail,
Fair play.
Okay.
Jerv, thumbs up, thumbs down for this one.
Oh, definitely thumbs up for Gordon, Tom.
Yeah, I thumbs up this one. I do like it, but I prefer the other one. If I'm honest. But yeah, both are really nice. Both look really good, to me anyway. And but I prefer the first one over this one. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Now let's move on. We have got a very small handful left, but we'll move on to the country of India. And this one is called Paithani, and this one is based on a sari designed by Mehta using traditional motifs from the textile industry of Python. Features Asavari creeper border with flowering shrubs and parrots, and this was worn by 3 aircraft, which were the Embraer 145, 757 and the 747-200. What are we saying? Joe, you first.
Now I'm going to enlarge the picture here. Now, just give me a second, and I'll have a proper look at. Oh yes, definitely without a shadow of a doubt. I absolutely adore the delivery of the Indian one. It looks very well. Yeah, definitely, Tom. I like that. It looks very well on board the 757 and the 747-200. And of course, the 747 is the one with the smaller type Rolls-Royce engines on her as well. I noticed that there as well.
Ian, what about you?
I can't quite decide. I like the actual design of it. And I like that it's like a gold band, isn't it? On a, is that meant to be a black or a dark blue background? I can't quite make it out whether it's meant to be blue or dark black.
I think it's dark blue.
Is it dark blue?
Yeah, it is a dark blue. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I would say I like that. It's different, particularly on the 747. It looks really nice. On on
Definitely,
747. It does
Yeah.
look really nice. I like the way it sort of. I don't know. It sort of blends in. You sort of look at the length of the 747 body, and as you sort of get to the back, it sort of sweeps up into this gold color, and the design what's on it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I really, really do. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
compare
lovely.
that to what I mean. You compare the 747 to the 757. You got the picture there, but the bottom part or the back end of the fuselage is actually a dark blue, whereas on the 747 it sort of extends that sort of pattern. Down to the back
and
there.
I think that makes a difference. To be quite honest.
Yeah, I was just going to say it makes a hell of a difference.
Yeah,
But I've seen that
does.
747. Seen that so many times when I lived near Heathrow and stuff, and had it go over the house so many times, and it is nice.
Wow.
It does represent India, so for me it gets a thumbs up. What about you, Ian?
Yeah, it gets a thumbs up from me, definitely. Just a quick one. Jeremy Carlisle says he's got to go. Thanks once again, he says.
Oh,
so,
fantastic. Thank you,
thanks,
Jeremy, for staying with us for what is 2 hours and 22 minutes. This is
Well done, Jeremy.
thank you so much.
Big shout out to you there. Shout out to you there, Jeremy. And well done.
Yes, and I'll quickly jump in as well and to say that Steve Plains asked which livery did Margaret Thatcher take real exception to, and cover the model with the hanky. We mentioned it at the beginning of the podcast. It was the Animal and Trees livery from Botswana. Watch the beginning of this podcast once we're done by about Tuesday in 48 hours time. So
yeah, I would say so.
But no, check out the beginning of the podcast and stuff, and
I have to say, Tom, I absolutely go with a big thumbs up to the the 747 and the 757, and of course I would have to copper then on the one minute. I absolutely love the fact that the Swiss Air MD-11 is there, which is a lovely catch. So it's my favorite tray holder is actually in the picture. So I like that stuff. Whoever took that shot, a big well done to them.
Fantastic. So next one is more of a somber one. To me, it's not so much of a World Tail because they had this when they had the Land All livery, but they've classed it as a World Tail, so we thought we'd just mention it, and we kind of do want to mention it. It's the Pause to Remember Poppy tail livery on what was 3 aircraft. So 2 757s and a 737-200 wore this, and quite simply is a poppy design that was used for Remembrance Day. So I think this says everything it needs to. It does what it does, and for the fact that it's for remembrance, you can't not like it. I know it's very simple and that, but that poppy is very striking on the tail. So a big thumbs up for me.
It looks lovely. Yeah, same here, Tom. Thumbs up.
Absolutely. I think it's definitely one they should have kept as well, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does what it needs to. Gives out that message of remembering the fallen, really. So yeah, big thumbs up for that.
Tom,
big thumbs up.
Same here.
Right.
Yeah.
Next one. 22 planes wore this next livery. As we go to, and this is we were chatting about this before. This is one of Ian's favourites. It is Hong Kong's Rendezvous.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Plenty of models in this livery, but I shall very quickly read out the description of what it is. Or what it's supposed to represent, if you just bear me 2 seconds. So, what it is, it's by an artist called Yip Man Yam. It is called Rendezvous, and it's obviously Chinese calligraphy. And it is a beauty within its dynamism, rhythm, and combination of lines which convey emotion in an abstract way. Yip Man Yam is highly respected as a master of calligraphy and seal carving, which is a stamp of the artist's signature. He combines traditional techniques with a modern style, adding a new, unique dimension to the craft. And the scroll that we can see did have us laughing actually when we were looking at it. The scroll is a favourite poem of the artist's, which describes boiling water.
Wow.
I don't get it.
And the quote is, "Small bubbles like crab eyes are followed by larger bubbles like fish eyes, rising, whispering like the sound of the wind through the pine trees." I didn't know this until we researched it during the week, and the fact that, it's kind of, I can't not look at this livery now and go, or look at a pan of boiling water and think, rendezvous. But aside from the fact that it's a poem about boiling water, what do we think about it? Ian first.
Well, I would like a pipe full of whatever Mr. Yam's smoking, to be quite honest. The delivery, I absolutely love it. I think it looks fantastic. I really, really do. And I'm sure the guy's really, really talented, and calligraphy and particularly the way the writing China and things like that's quite difficult to decipher for anyone anyway. But I don't understand the relation to the poem and to the actual plane. I really don't understand, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's there.
I do like the livery. The livery's smart.
Yeah, had I not known the meaning behind it, I would probably be a bit like, yeah, this is really cool. I still think it is. I still think it's really, really cool. But like I said, all I can think about is boiling water. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing, you see, because once you start looking at the tails and you're looking at them in more depth, and you start understanding where the inspirations have come from, and then you can look at them and you can think, well, yeah, I can see where the inspiration for that tail's come from. But when you look at this tail, you look at it and then you look, you research where the inspirations come from, and you can't. I can't put the two together. I really can't. But I don't know whether that's just me or what.
It's a strange one. It's a strange one to do it about boiling water. But the livery itself is simplistic, and it is a good representation of obviously not just Hong Kong, but China as a whole. Because obviously there's that controversy between, is Hong Kong on its own, is it Chinese, etc. So we're trying to cover all bases here, just in case we offend anybody. Joe, what's your take on this?
I love this one, Tom, because for the fact it's another one that I had the pleasure of catching many a times at London Gatwick. So yeah, it has to be another true favourite of mine again. So it has, yeah.
Excellent.
So I definitely go on 100% out on this one.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Round the room then, Ian. Warm or tepid or cold water?
Boiling water for me. No, I do like it. I think it looked really nice. Yeah, it's a smart livery.
So thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, thumbs up for me. It's a good livery. It's very classy on whichever plane you put it on, really, as the pictures tell you. Joe, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Big thumbs up for me. Yeah.
Wonderful. Right, let's get on to the next one. And this is going to probably divide us. It is the country of Romania, and the Romanian entry, which is called Spring, or Primavera, as they call it. Now, this simply is designed by Morag Demetru, and it's images of Romania and a winner of an employee contest, and it was worn by one aircraft. And I'm going to echo what Ian said, about however long ago it was now. I'm not surprised.
I like it.
I don't like it. I mean, if you look towards the bottom of the tail there, all I can see is Krusty the Clown.
Well, it's funny because I'm going to call it a pink crab, but it looks like a pink crab crawling up the side of the plane, to be honest. But when I look at this tail and I compare it to the coffee cup from earlier, there's no comparison, and I think that is I like it. I think it's a nice looking tail. I really do.
It's better than the coffee cup one by a mile, but I just don't like it.
No.
I don't know. There's something about it that's, for me, there's not enough there, I think, to sort of represent Romania. And like you said, now all I can see is like Mr. Krabs or something, from SpongeBob.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's what I think anyway. Joe, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think I kind of have to go with Krusty the Clown style of it, alright, Tom. Now I'm undecided on it now, but they could have done a bit more down near the door there to kind of finish it off a bit more, and then my opinion might be a bit more on it, but I can't say that I'm going a thumbs up on it now, unfortunately, but I like it a bit, but it's not getting a full like from me.
Okay, so round the room then, Ian, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up from me.
Joe?
Yeah.
Kind of it's a side thumb, Tom. I'm not kind of going up, but it's a side thumb for me on it. As I said,
a side thumb. We've not had that this evening.
Yeah,
a side thumb.
Side. Which means I'm going to be undecided on it.
On the fence.
It's not getting a thumbs up, or it's not getting a thumbs down. It's just I'm undecided on it.
Interesting. On the fence on that one. I'm giving it thumbs down because I don't like it. Simple as. Ian, what's the chat saying about this livery?
Looks like a Christmas jumper. Can't argue with that. It does look like a Christmas jumper, doesn't it?
Do you know what? It really does.
Steve Plains.
Really does. No, I can actually see it.
Yeah. Rob Brown playing spotting. He says he can get the spring vibe, but he doesn't get the Romanian.
Yeah, that's the problem that I've got with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can say that about a lot of the liveries, can't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it just. I personally think it actually looks nice on an aircraft. It does. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's move on to the last of the German representatives this evening. Now, this was made for British Airways and Deutsche BA. And this one is called Sterntaler, or in brackets, Bohas. Bohas? I may have said that correct. May have said that wrong. But this is so this was done for, like I said, for British Airways and for Deutsche BA. And this one was worn by a total of 14 aircraft across British Airways and Deutsche BA, and it's based on 3D ceramic object arts by Antje Brueggemann. So I quite like this. It to me it does sort of shout like Bohas and everything, or Bohos. Somebody will do that. But Ian, you said it reminded you of another airline.
Etihad.
Yes.
It also reminds me. I was just like staring at it then, and sometimes before a Channel 4 program starts, it shows these little triangle things flipping over in the wind, and it also reminds me of that as well. I'm not a fan. I'm really not.
Yeah, a Channel 4 like.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. You see the little triangle things flipping over, can't you, in the wind?
Oh, I tell you, some of the comparisons we've had this evening.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that at all.
I like it.
It's just the colour and.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's probably one of the better ones.
It's the colour and everything.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's definitely better than a lot out there. a lot of ones that were out there, I should say. Jer, can you see Etihad in this?
Oh yeah, 100%. I can, Tom, and I have to say I'm very impressed with the style of delivery because the 757 I had a privilege of coming face to face with, and I came face to face with a 737 belonging to Deutsche BA with it as well. So never. Never met the A320 with it, but the other two aircraft. Now I have to say, I was at the back. I was at the back of a gate near Gatwick's main runway with the 737, and I got the 757 going out over the top of me at the other end of the runway. So yeah, I have to say I love this livery. I think it's look it's full of colour. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll go around the room.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Ian?
Thumbs down from me. I don't like it.
Oh, no.
No,
No, not at all. Sorry.
It's an opinion. It's fine. I mean, you don't have to be correct or anything, but it's still an opinion.
Yeah.
Jer, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, definitely a thumbs up for that.
Thumbs up as well. So 2 thumbs up.
Well,
one
the thing
down.
is to say, guys, I had the privilege of meeting these two aircraft either going down the runway from me, and of course, as I said, the 757 came out over the top of me. So and I got to see the sun reflecting off the tail as it was going out. So yeah, definitely, I'm top class on this one. As I say,
We have got a whopping 7 to go through our journey of the British Airways World Tails.
wow.
But before we move on to the next one, Rob Brown, Plane Spotting, Ian has echoed your statement of saying that this one looks very much like the Etihad one.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, back in the day, it didn't look like an Etihad, did it? Etihad didn't have that design back in the day, did they?
No. Etihad didn't exist when these were out,
design.
so yeah.
Well, there we go then. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's
I don't like it. I mean, I've even seen the piece of artwork what it's been taken from, and I don't like that either, to be quite honest. So
you grumpy old man, you.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't like it. Right, move on.
Yes, sir. Right, moving on to the second of 3 Australian representatives, and no, it's not the one you're thinking of. This one is called Water Dreaming. Now, this was on 4 aircraft, so 4 aircraft had this one, and only 2 had Nalanji Dreaming delivery, which is quite strange. But this one was worn by a 747, 757, the older A320s, and 737-200, as you can see. I'm going to butcher the name, but the artist was Clifford Possum. Hang on. Tialpotari, close enough. And it's art to represent the Northern Australian terrain. I like it. I do like this one. It's not my favourite of the Australian ones, but it's simple. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of pointillism. Like if you were at school and you did like artwork and stuff, and you were introduced to pointillism and you paint with points and stuff, or just dots. It reminds me very much of that. And I quite like it. Joe, what's your make on Water Dreaming?
Yes, Tom. I'm going with you on this one. I like the design, and especially the 737-200. It's really showing up lovely with the sunlight shining on it. And the 747 now looks a bit darkish, but it looks deadly on both aircraft. You know, and it's nice to see the Queen of the Skies wearing it as well, like. So yeah, I definitely a big like for this one, Tom.
Fantastic. And Ian, your opinion on this one?
I like it as well. I like it a lot. I can see like an Aboriginal sort of inspiration behind it when you look at the sort of the centerpiece of it. It's really nice. Like you say, it's what did you call it? Pointillism.
Pointillism, yeah.
Pointillism. Yeah. You can see that in it, but I like it a lot. It's like I say, it's got the Aboriginal sort of vibe going with it, and I really like that about it. Yeah, it looks dead smart. That.
Yeah, very very nice.
Yeah, and you know something, Ian, that you mentioned the Aboriginal side of it. It does actually represent the Aboriginals as well, like which really makes it even awesomer looking as well.
Yeah, it's got that tribal sort of vibe with it, hasn't it? Yeah, definitely.
It does. Yeah, 100%. I agree 100% on that one. I would have to say.
So, around the room, then, thumbs up, thumbs down. Ian?
Thumbs up from me, definitely.
Definitely a thumbs up from me as well. And Joe, to round it up?
100% on that one, Tom.
Fantastic. So thumbs ups all round for the Aussies on this one. So 2 out of 2 so far for a full house. Now, on to the next one, and we're going back into Asia with the Japanese representative of waves and cranes. This one.
Yes.
The artist or designer was Matatsu Kayama, and it's also known as Nami Tsuru, and it's a Nihonga painting of waves and cranes symbolizing the cosmic world and the soul of Japan. 13 aircraft wore this livery in total, including the likes of the 757, 777, and the 747. I think this represents Japan down to a T, and it's actually one of my favourites. I've got about 5 favourites, and we've seen about 3 or 4 of them already. With, of course, the English Rose, or Chelsea Rose, I should say, being my absolute favourite. But this is up there as one of them as well, because it's very smart and almost like zebra looking as well. And it is, it's just, it's really, really nice. And especially when you look at that 777 tail as well, you can sort of see the detail on it. But,
I was just going to say something about that, Tom, and of course the 747 as well. I had the privilege of the 767 and the 747 both at Gatwick. Can't remember I could have got the 777 as well. I possibly had all three aircraft, but we're on various days though. They weren't all together. Like it was, I could have went down on one day and I would have seen the 747 going out with it, and the 767 would have went out around the weekend time, and the 777 I think used to go out on a Friday with that livery on it. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely have to say I do like the Japan design. It does look absolutely awesome on it.
Yeah, Ian, what about you?
I love it. Yeah, I think it's smart. It's like you say, it depicts Japan, doesn't it? It's got that. It's got the cranes in it, and it's got. I don't know. I think the design in the background is it like I don't know whether it's meant to be like leaves or something like that, or something on a tree. I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's just got that elegance and grace about it as well, and sort of you're thinking like Japanese geisha girls and flower blossom trees and things like that, and you can see that sort of design sort of in the background of it all as well. And I think it's an absolutely mint design. That it's lovely, it really is.
Yeah. Well, the waves are supposed to represent the life and space of the cosmic world, which would make sense now that you look at it. And
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, the cranes express the soul and quintessence of Japanese beauty.
Yeah.
So that would make sense to me. Yeah. That it's a lovely livery. So massive
I think you'd have
up.
to understand more about Japanese culture, but see where you're coming from with it. Definitely, it's a lovely tail. It really is.
So thumbs up from me, Ian.
Yeah, definitely a thumbs up from me. Definitely.
And for you, Joe.
Definitely, Tom. Definitely a big thumbs up. Actually, 2 big thumbs up for this one.
It's
I'd
a lovely.
say so as well.
Yeah, two big thumbs up from me as well. So that's another full house, and fantastic livery for that one. Moving on,
Tom.
Go on,
Tom,
Jim.
sorry. I wonder what way is the chat actually going with them now at the moment? Or is it all quiet in the chat at the moment?
Very quiet in the chat at the moment, but Ian, there is a a comment in there if you want to read that one out.
Yeah, Bradley Aviation is saying the debate is still on. Great work, guys.
Yep, we are here. We are still here.
It certainly is.
We are still here. Longest podcast episode.
It's a debate-a-thon.
It's a huge debate-a-thon. Yes, that's the best way of putting it. Debate-a-thon. But
debate-a-thon.
Considering the amount of World Tails there are, we've dived down into the depths of the of chat in terms of the tales here this evening, and I think we've all thoroughly enjoyed ourselves so far, and we've still got a couple to get through.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yes, absolutely. But big thumbs up from me. So yeah, well done on that one. Right, now we cross the pond to the only America representative, which is Waves of the City, and I'm going to let Ian talk about this one first because this is his favourite. But
I love this one.
Yes,
Sorry, go on.
The artist or designer is Jennifer Kobalars, and it is a simple and modern abstract art meant to convey a sense of frozen motion, and 13 aircraft wore this as well, from the likes of the 747, 777 and the 757. Ian, take it away.
What can I say about it? It looks right. It looks like it belongs on a British Airways plane for a start, in my opinion. And what it's depicting, this 1950s, 1960s sort of pop art sort of culture from America, it's got that bang on for me. And I think just the wave design and the actual colours of that tail, I don't know, it's just absolutely spot on. And I think it's absolutely beautiful.
You can see
love that one.
I was literally just about to say you can see the pop art in this one from sort of that sort of era of the 50s and 60s.
Amazing.
And
Yeah, definitely. It looks absolutely beautiful. It does.
Yeah.
And if you look at the actual piece of artwork where it's come from as well, it's definitely something you'd have hanging in your house. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a lovely piece of artwork. Yeah.
Well, she is a young artist herself, so the fact that she's managed to produce this for British Airways at that time, well done to her, because it is really, really nice, and it suits any aircraft, I think. And that is where with these World Tails, it's like you say, you're going to have people that like them and people that don't like them, and if you like them, it's because they've got that longevity of being able to suit any aircraft, a bit like the Chelsea Rose that we were discussing, a bit like the Irish one that we were discussing. It would suit any aircraft sort of thing, and if you manage to nail that, then you're good to go with that livery, and that definitely represents the what she's trying to achieve with this design. So big thumbs up for me on this one. I can't say I don't like it, because I do. Ian, obviously a thumbs up from you.
Yeah, I love it, me. Yeah, double thumbs up, and I love art. From me.
Good stuff. And you, Joe?
Oh, 100% a double thumbs up for this one. I love the actual design as well. It's well put together, and fair play to the artist that put it together as well, and well done to her as well for doing it.
Right, 4 to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
4 to go as we cross the American border.
Wow.
As we go to Canada with their interpretation, and this one is called Whale Rider. This is an interesting one. So the designer was Joe David, and it's from wood carving representing the whaling tradition of the Tala au Qui-At First Nations in Canada. 9 aircraft wore it, as you can see 3 of them on the screen. What do we think? I think it's all right. It's not like wow. It's not like it's not very good. I just think it's okay. Joe, what do you think?
Oh, I love it, Tom. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the way the black line is just going down and then it's curling. Pardon me, down near the outer tail there, and I love the bit of blue there that's on as well. See, the thing is, the only aircraft that I got to witness. Can't say I seen the 737-200 with it, but I probably did. I probably just don't remember, but I definitely seen the 757 wearing it because it was always a regular at Gatwick. And that. And I think I might have caught it hard with look at Heathrow as well on one of my visits as well back that time as well. So yeah, I have to say, Tom, I'm going to go with a big like for that
Yes.
because it does, and it matches Canada very well as well. So it does.
Definitely, now that you sort of know a bit more about it, you can kind of see a lot of like Canadian tradition in it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Ian,
Definitely,
your
yeah.
take on it?
I like it. Now, I have got a problem with it.
Go on.
Well, no, it's not. It's nothing to do with the design or anything like that. But the fact that it's called Whale Rider, if you were to see the actual piece of artwork where it's come from, you would understand why it's called Whale Rider, because it does look like somebody's sort of sat down on top of a whale riding it. But when you actually look at the tail, you can't see the design. They've sort of cut. I'm looking at both designs now in front of me, and they've cut a massive chunk of the actual design away from the actual tail. So they've put a massive part of the design onto the tail, but they've cut a massive chunk. Like they've cut away the. If you look at the top of the fin where it goes a bit narrower, the black lines. That's where the whale's fin should be.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And if you look where the curve is going up the going up the slope of the tail, you can see the eye in the black line, the blue eye, and then you can see the little bits of reds and blues just above it, and that's meant to be somebody actually riding the whale. So you can't really see what the design is from that. You know what I mean? So I don't know whether they could have made it a bit smaller or just tweaked it a little bit to get actually more of the design into the tail. It's a fantastic design, and the piece of artwork is really, really nice. I just think they've missed a trick there, to be quite honest, and it's sort of they've looked at it and thought that'll do, and they've missed quite a big part of the actual design out on it, and I don't know. I just don't think it's thought through enough. I can understand the piece of artwork they were using. I just don't think they've put enough of it on for you to make it out that it is a whale rider.
Yeah, I see what you mean now. If you look at the artwork and stuff, you can definitely see what they sort of cut off.
Big chunks of it missing. Yeah.
Okay, well let's go round then. Ja, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Big thumbs up, Tom.
I'm going to go thumbs up as well because I do like it despite the faults. Ian?
Yeah, it gets a thumbs up from me as well. It does look nice. It's a proper nice looking tail.
Full house for the Canadians on that one.
No.
Ian, just a couple of people. Also, a couple of comments in there.
Let's have a look. Yeah, Rob Brown playing spotting says a bit clearer and less clumsy than the Chelsea Rose.
Yeah, I think that's in reference to the American one. I think I may be wrong. You might correct me in a minute.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
No.
To be quite honest, I like the design, but again, like the Egypt, there's better ways of representing Canada.
Yeah,
and I would agree with you there, to be quite honest.
Yeah, spot on that.
Yeah, definitely.
A couple of them that are actually in there that you could probably find better ways to represent them, as we've been through this evening. And as we move on to the next one, funny story that I've got to say on this one, but I'll bring it up on screen now. So we are back in Europe, and we are off to Denmark. So a funny story about this one. When I was younger, I used to see these ones sort of passing by, and I used to call them the Smarty planes because to me they look like Smarties. And it was only until this week when we were doing our research that you can actually, well, they're actually cranes and and birds actually flying in it, and I didn't notice that for literally all these years. But basically, it's a modernist representation of seagulls in flight. 13 aircraft wore this, and the artist was Per Arnoldi. So, yeah, I mean, I do like this one as well. Sort of gotten to the back end now, and most of them are really, really nice. But this one, simple, and again, I mean, I don't think it looks great on the 747, but like on the smaller planes like the A320 that you can see on the picture there, I think it suits it down to a T. Ian, what do you think?
It's not for me. No.
What?
No, I can see. No, I can see what you're saying with the seagulls and things like that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's not for me. I don't like it. I don't think it looks right at all on the tails. No. We've seen some really, really, really nice designs when you look back at the cranes and things like that, and the American and the English rows, and then this is the best thing they could come up with for Denmark. You know, it's like Rob Brown Plane Spotting says they can find better ways of representing the country rather than some seagulls flying through some Smarties.
Yeah, it does look like someone just opened the top of Smarties and just emptied them on the plane.
Yeah, and on the 747, the large yellow part of it looks like a lemon.
Yeah, I think that's probably what lets it down on the 747. I think. Joe, what do you make of this?
Right. Well, I'm going to have a look at the 747 first because that's another one that I have on my old 90s footage because I was a regular visitor to Gatwick, but it looked a bit different on the 747, but I absolutely love it on the smaller aircraft because it blends in lovely with the A320. But I'm not going to say I dislike it on the 747 because the 747 is the queen of the skies and always will be the queen of the skies, even though they're not with us anymore, unfortunately. But I definitely have to say I love the A320. It looks absolutely beautiful in it, and that. But I don't dislike the tail of the 747. I do like them both, you know. So I'm going to give them both a like.
Yes, let's go round then.
No hassle, Tom.
Joe, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm going with a thumbs up, Tom, because the fact that I have the 747 in my video collection, but sadly I don't think I have the 320. But then again, I possibly do. I'd have to go through all my footage again to find it. So maybe I will, because I'm actually going to do a live stream sometime down the line with the parting aircraft dash on my videos to show the colour tails again for just to make people remember what they were really like in real life.
Ian, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs down from me. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. It reminds me. Yeah, no.
Wow.
It reminds me. I'm going back. Probably late 90s when these tails were out. It reminds me of a rally racing bike, and I'm sure I forgot which cyclist endorsed it, but it weren't part of the Rally Banana race team. It was somebody else, but it was white and it had those colours in it. Very really abstract design on the racing bike, and it reminds me a lot of that. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that, and it's I think back then, I think it would have been a lot more acceptable, and I think a lot more people would have liked it. But I think today, I just don't think it's fashionable, and I just don't think it looks right at all. No, it's not for me.
And
thumbs down.
I like it because I'll give it a thumbs up because it just reminds me of Smarties. So that's what I'm sticking with.
That's fair enough.
Nice one.
Right, 2 to go. Even though there's 3, I've just seen that I've completely forgotten to. Oh no, I haven't. There is 3 left. So what we'll do is, because we've been on for 3 hours, we'll very quickly get through these ones, and then we'll begin to wrap up. So next one is the last one of the Australian entries, and again, it's an iconic one. It is Runala Dreaming, and just like Nalanji Dreaming.
Oh yes.
This one was also designed by Balaringi Design Studios, and this livery was designed for Qantas in 1994 as opposed to 1995 with Nalanji, and appeared on 2 Boeing 747-400 aircrafts for Qantas. Based on the original painting, inspired by the natural colours of Australia and executed by the Yanyuwa people, the title translates to Kangaroo Dreaming. 2 aircraft again wore this, again a 757 and a 747, and what can you say about it apart from the fact that it is absolutely iconic?
Yeah, definitely, Tom. I definitely have to say I'm very impressed with this livery, and especially it has me thinking now about the Manola Dreaming full Qantas 747, which I had the privilege of witnessing at Heathrow many years ago as well. So it's nice to see a BA 747 and a 757 also wearing it as well. So yeah, it's definitely a lovely symbol of Australia, big time.
Fantastic. Ian, iconic livery.
I'm not a fan. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do love that one.
What.
It's no, it's like Rob Brown playing Spotting said. It's Australian. You can't argue with it. It's as Australian as Australia gets, isn't it? And it represents Australia. It looks Australian, and it's an absolutely fantastic looking tail. It really, really is.
It's Aussie through and through.
Absolutely, yeah. It really, really is. It's a lovely tail.
Can't really say much more on that.
Tom and Nina just spotted an amazing person in the chat, and I'd say you're familiar with him yourself, guys. Ryan Bormar. He says hello all to us there, to the 3 of us there.
Hey, very good evening, Ryan Bormar.
Yeah,
he's
good evening to Ryan.
He's a big friend. He's a big friend of mine. He is. He always follows my streams when I'm on. So I had to give him a big shout out there. So welcome, Ryan. Good to see you, my good friend.
So, like I said, there's not really much to kind of go off of because, it's an Aussie. It's iconic.
Big time.
So we'll leave it at that. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up from me, Ian.
Yep, thumbs up definitely from me.
And Joe.
Double thumbs up from
double
me for this one, Tom.
Yeah, it is. It's an absolutely iconic aircraft. Livery, I should say. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just want to go back a tail as well, if I can, please. And it's Rob Brown playing spot, and I said again. I think it was relating to the Danish one, what nobody liked. In one word, hell no. An A320 to Iron Apple in July, maybe, but on a 747, no. It doesn't work for him. And I think it doesn't work for me either. I totally agree.
God.
Yeah. Like you said, it was too big on the 747, but sort of right on the smaller planes.
Yeah, definitely. I think. I think walking onto a plane waving glow sticks and blowing a whistle, it'd look fine, wouldn't it? But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'll let you carry on.
That's right. So, penultimate one now, as we move to the Middle East, and it is the Saudi Arabia livery, Yum Al Suk, which is market day in well, I suppose in English, and it is an abstract inspired by Arab life on market day, and it was worn by one aircraft, which is a 737-400, and it was designed by Shadia Alem. And I think for the first time in quite a while, I don't like it.
Why?
I go back to what it was either Jeremy Carlisle or Rob Brown said. You can have abstract, but I think this is a bit much.
Yeah, I'm totally 100% behind you with that, to be quite honest.
I don't think to me, it doesn't look very Saudi Arabian either.
No, I think a lot of these tails, and I think a lot of these designs, you can see it in a lot of them. I think it was, like I've said it before, I think it was just passion of the day, weren't it? I think there were a lot of abstract art about, weren't it? You can see a lot of, you go back to the South African ones, this Arabian one and a few others, and you can just see coloured triangles in it, can't you? Whether they look right or whether they look wrong, it's just coloured triangles, isn't it?
Yeah. Joe?
I have to say, I kind of like it a bit. To be honest, it's just the way some of the designs are pardon me, diamonds. Actually, on it. But I'm not going to say now I am a big fan of it. But I do like it a bit now. So I'm going to be undecided on this one.
Okay. So we'll go around then. Thumbs up or down, Ian?
I'm afraid I'll have to give it a thumbs down.
It's a thumbs down from me as well, Joe.
Defense of this one, Tom.
What was that? Sorry.
I'm on the fence.
Always on the fence. So it's side thumb. Ooh.
Yes.
That's 2 in one night.
Yeah, so there you go. No.
Yeah.
Ryan Bonner said the scheme is an overkill.
There you go. That says all it needs to.
Yeah, it really is. I think they could have like a lot of these schemes, they could have depicted more subtle ways to represent a country, couldn't they?
Definitely. And we've got one more, and lots of you that are sticking with us and have stuck with us for the 3 hours and 9 minutes that we've been going. So thank you so much for that. I didn't think anybody would stay for this long, but thank you to those who have. You might be thinking, well, why haven't you showed the current one? That's because we're about to. This is the last one for the evening, and it's one that we're going to discuss. It is, of course, the current livery, Chatham Dockyard, as it was known back then. Now, this was introduced specifically for the Concorde, which I don't think many people actually knew. This was not a livery that adorned any planes apart from the Concorde after the Concorde's relaunch. And of course, now this is the current livery. I hate it. Like, sue me, but I hate it. Because it's very bland. Like, obviously, on the Concorde, lovely, because it's very simple. On any other plane, I don't know. It's been around for so long, it's like, we need a change. And I think that's probably where the Chelsea Rose would have come in and been like, we wouldn't have needed a change because it's very British. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. We'll go with you, Joe.
Well, Tom, I tell you, if I could have the Landor livery back on the tails again, I would go with that 100%, because I don't know, there's something about the Landor I absolutely love, but it did take me a long time to get used to the latest livery now, which I'm looking at on the Concorde at the moment, and I don't know, I still find that hard to recognise it, even to this present day. Like, but I suppose anything at the moment is better than nothing. I suppose on the British Airways aircraft at the moment. But
yeah,
give me give me Landor back in the morning. I would take it with a pinch of salt, so I would.
Yeah, Landor over anything really for me. But at the same time, like I think this livery has run its course. I think it's time for a change. Something a bit more fresh, something a bit more now. If you can get rid of the Landor because apparently it's quote too classy, then you can kind of change this one up a bit to kind of go where it's a bit quote too bland sort of thing. Ian, what's your sort of thought on this one?
I don't know, to be quite honest. I think going back to when they introduced it and they put it onto Concorde, I don't think it looks too bad, to be honest, because when you look at Concorde and it's such an iconic, clean design. When you just look at a side view of Concorde, it's such a sleek and such a clean design. The last thing it needs is its entire body and fuselage cluttering up with all kinds of different bits of livery. And I think something what just says British Airways and has a bit of a livery on its tail, I think is enough for Concorde. And I think if it would have stayed on Concorde, I think it would have been fine, to be quite honest. But to spread it through the entire fleet, I don't think that was the right decision. I don't like the way the tail looks like a flag waving. It's been painted onto a solid object. Like you had your Landor livery, which were solid lines, weren't it? But they've put a waving design onto a solid object, and I just don't think that looks right. 'Cause it's not a waving object, is it? If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's one that splits. I think. I mean, it does. I mean, for Concorde, it's perfect.
Yeah.
For now, considering it's been nearly 20 years or so that this livery's been in play, I think it is probably time for a change.
So it's been going a long time then, Tom, has it?
Yeah.
This particular livery now at the moment.
Well, if you think about this livery in particular, it's been going since 1999. So,
Yeah.
It's one of the original World Tails, weren't it?
Yeah, and that as well.
It's a long time, alright, guys.
Like I said, specifically for the Concorde as well. So, and then obviously they were like, right, well, this seems to work, so we'll just put it on all our planes now.
Yeah.
But
I think they're due a change. I think they need to revamp it. I don't know what they can do with it, to be quite honest. I wouldn't know which way to go. I wouldn't go backwards and go back with one of the older liveries. I'd sort of move forward. But what I'd do, I don't know. I can just imagine British Airways making a right mess if they did a new livery. If they move forward and try to put something really modern onto the planes, I don't know. I'm just getting sort of a sort of a bad feeling that they would make a real mess of it and put something on quite minimalistic. Where a lot of, like, when you look at the modern aircraft liveries now, apart from your special liveries and a few others, they're all pretty. They are all pretty basic, aren't they? They all
basic,
have. I mean, you only have to look at Lufthansa, for instance, with the Lufthansa and the blue and white tail, for instance, and I mean, Aer Lingus, you could say, is another one. It looks pretty. It's like somebody's tore the heart out of it, haven't they? And they just stuck a corporate logo onto the side of it, and that's what they've done, haven't they? And I could see British Airways moving the same direction and just ripping the heart out of the airline and putting something really bland and basic on the side of the planes, which I think would just ruin the brand, to be quite honest. And I think what they've got now, I don't know whether they should keep it or not, to be quite honest.
I think time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah.
It will, exactly, guys. You look at.
But for the final time this evening, we'll go around the room. I'm actually going to give it a side thumb because, like I said, I'm not a fan of it, but it's representing Britain, so I'm going to go for a side thumb. Joe?
Yeah, side thumb for me as well. Tom on this one. Like as I said, Landor for me. That's the way I'd like to see Landor kind of back because that was the true British Airways livery back then. Then, as I said, but sure, listen, I suppose in every day and age, everyone I guess have their own opinion when it comes to picking and choosing. I just which will let Ian read out the last couple of comments or shortly, but as I say, yeah, definitely side thumbs on this one for me, my good friend Tom.
And lastly, you, Ian.
I think I'm with you, Tom, and give it a bit of a side, Tom. I think, like Rob Brown Plane Spotting says, fair enough, it works on Concorde. And I think it does work on Concorde, because Concorde needs to have clean lines, doesn't it, Concorde, for its image.
Yeah.
But I think on other jets, I think they could have done... I don't know whether they should have... I don't think they should have spread it through the entire fleet. I think they should have just kept it on Concorde and thought of something different for the rest of the fleet.
Yeah.
But going on the World Livery Tails and probably my opinion more than other people's opinions, I think I'm a bit more undecided and don't like as many. I don't think British Airways were in right frame of mind to create a new livery for their aircraft a big while back in the 90s. I think they should definitely
out like 60 million for this one, so...
Yeah.
The one thing before we finish, guys, the one thing is Concorde will always live though in everybody's hearts because she was one of a kind. Like she could travel twice the speed of sound, like and you always had to love her. She was the part and that massive sharp turn, especially out New York John F. Kennedy. I always used to love looking at videos of her departing, and she'd only be a couple of feet off the ground, and next thing she'd bank out over the water so low, an amazing airplane. It's a pity that she went so soon before her time because I can guarantee anything, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers and a lot of the people in the chat would agree with me. It was an elegant airplane. So she was, I miss her terribly because I only had the privilege of witnessing one Concorde in my whole entire life, and that was an Air France one. I never got to see a British Airways one departing, and I'm literally livid to this day that I never had the privilege of seeing a BA Concorde departing from Heathrow.
Yeah. So we're going to end on a side thumb for this one.
Yes.
And
Tom.
Yeah, and with that marks every single World Tail that we have been through, and we've given our opinion on them. And do you know what? For the fact that we've been going for nearly 3 hours and 20 minutes, it's been absolutely enjoyable.
Oh, it has, Tom. I've enjoyed it anyway. I can say that for one thing.
Plenty more debates to come in the future. We've got some fantastic sort of topics to discuss, but they'll be coming in the future. So stay tuned for that. They probably won't go as long as this one, but yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun this evening. Now, what we'll do, because we've been going on for so long, we'll wrap it up, or try to wrap up as quickly as we can, so that everybody can go to bed and and enjoy the rest of the evening. So what we'll do now is we'll do this part Tom, where we just give a few shout outs to a couple of people that we want to, and we will keep it to a couple of people because, like I say, we don't want to be going on forever and ever and ever, because we've kept people here long enough, and the people that have stayed with us for the duration of the show, I just want to say big thank you, everybody, right now, and sending you like a lot of love, because you've stuck with us for this long, and it means a lot to me and a lot to us. So a big thank you to you guys. Now, let's start with some shout outs and shout out a couple of people, and we'll go with you, Ian, first.
I'd just like to thank you and Joe for letting me be part of your show tonight. It's been really
more than welcome.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic show, and I've learned a lot even though like with Tom during we've done quite a lot of research and done a lot of reading into things and what have you, but still learnt a lot tonight and things like that, and it's been fantastic. And a massive shout out, like Tom said, to everybody who's been in the chat for the entire duration. Fair play to you, and thanks very much for your comments and questions and suggestions and what have you. So brilliant, thanks very much.
It honestly means a lot that people have stayed with us for the duration. Whether you've popped in and out and watched bits here and there and everything, at least you've been watching. So it means a lot to not just me but to Joe and to Ian as well, and the guys behind the channel. So big
There's
thank
been
you
a lot
to
of work
everybody.
put into this week's show, hasn't there? There's been a lot of work put into it.
Honestly, like my eyes are like square from the amount of like research I've been doing this week. But in the end, it's been totally
worth it.
Absolutely worth it, and I just hope you
Tom,
guys have enjoyed it.
I tell you one thing, Tom. You and Ian done a lot of work. Like I know I hadn't been around much during this week because I've either been off gallivanting with friends and whatever. Like I haven't been around much, but I guarantee one thing: I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be around for next week's show, and that please God as well. I'll do my shout outs in a minute when you're finished yourself there, Tom. I'll let you continue.
Yeah, it's your go now for a couple of shout outs.
Okay, all right, Tom. I'm not going to do a big list now. I'm just going to go with a few. I have two good friends down in my hometown of Bagnestown who I went down to visit the last 2 days. Brendan O'Brien is one of my friends from Eastwood in Bagnestown, and Thomas Goody Byrne is another good friend of mine who always sticks up for me if there's any problems with that. I'm very grateful to him and that, and of course yourself, Tom. I want to give a big shout out for doing such a great show tonight. We kind of broke the record tonight, which is great. So there's to you, of course, Ian, a big shout out to you.
Cheers,
No problem at all, mate. And the Ryan Bormar, who I seen on the chat there, a big shout out to him, of course, and to all my other good friends that do come on and follow the show every weekend as well. A couple of other familiar people that would have been following me now tonight as well. I want to give them a shout out, of course, as well to Mark, Rebecca, and a few other good people around as well. And of course, not forgetting the frontline workers who are doing a fantastic job as well, the HSE, the NHS crew as well, and everybody that's doing a wonderful job through the tough times that we've been through the last couple of months as well. So that's it. And to everyone on Facebook that follow me and Tom and Ian, of course, and especially my live shows as well when I go live, like I did this morning. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to Maroney and Ed, who done a fantastic show at Amsterdam Schiphol this morning, which I done a bit of a live stream in honour of the two boys this morning as well. So big shout out to them as well, of course. So that's everything, Tom. I'm done now, so it's all down to you now, my good friend.
Fantastic. I'll just give a quick couple of shout outs. One to all the key workers for doing a fantastic job and for continuing to do so. I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine called Liam, who found out he's expecting another child today. So big congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
It's a nice little surprise to give you a little shout out. But whether you're watching, whether you can hear it, or you'll be watching it at some point and you'll hear this, big shout out to you and your partner. Everybody who is stuck with us for 3 hours and 25 minutes again means a lot to us. So thank you so much. That is, I think that's pretty much my shout outs for this evening. So next week we do have a guest. We have a chap called Curtis Charlesworth. He is based at East Midlands Airport, and he'll be on with us to discuss all things aviation, go through some of the sites that he's been seeing at East Midlands, and talking. Yeah, like I said, just talking aviation with us, and answering your questions as well. But yeah, next couple of weeks we are going to be booked. We'll let you know about the next sort of debate that we have. Like I said, we've got some interesting topics to come. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So that is it from us for this week. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed it just as much as we have. We'll be doing this again next week. Obviously not for 3 hours and 30 minutes. But yeah, we'll be doing this again next week at 7 p.m. UK time. So, Ian, do you want to say bye to everyone?
Yep, goodbye everyone, and thanks for joining in tonight and bearing with us. And it's been a fantastic evening. So yeah, good night everyone. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday.
Judge, do you want to say bye?
I want to say goodbye to everybody now, and look after yourselves and stay safe out there. When I'm finished now, I'm heading off now for a little adventure to get a bit of air, and I have a bit of contemplate to do, of course. So I'm going to do that, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And we've broken an amazing record tonight, 3 hours and almost 30 minutes on. So it's been a fantastic show. Thanks as always to you, my good host, Tom, and to you again, of course, Ian as well. So enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend, guys, because you're on a bank holiday weekend at the moment, and I think we're coming up on one over here in Ireland pretty soon as well. So that's all I have to say now. So it's been a fantastic show, and it's been great learning about all the world colour tales as well, as I said. So thanks again, Tom. Thanks again, Ian, and of course thanks to myself as well also.
And from me, if you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing more, drop a like on the video or stream. And if you're new around here and are not subscribed to the channel, press that subscribe button, and you'll get weekly sort of podcast videos, as well as model reviews, and soon to be aircraft compilations once I manage to get back out and do some filming. But for now, continue to look after yourselves, stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you at 7 p.m. next Sunday.
Next Sunday, please God. I just clicked the like there, Tom. Just let you know. So I've hit the like button there now. So which is done now.
Fantastic. So we'll see you next week at 7 p.m. Take it easy, everybody, and see you later.
All the best.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Cheerio, everyone.